podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premiere Networks on Saturday, March 5th, 2022. This is episode 1873. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by ITProTV. ITProTV has everything you need to level up your IT skills while you enjoy the journey. Visit itpro.tv/twit for an additional 30% off all consumer subscriptions for the lifetime of your active subscription when you use the code TWIT30 at checkout. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy, with my friend Micah Sargent.
Hello.
Tech Guy 2, TOO. He is back in studio with us now that COVID is over. The pandemic has ended. He's back in studio. We sent him home. It's funny. It's been such a long time. It is now. This is, by the way, the second anniversary of the week that we sent everybody home from the office.
Okay.
And that was 2 years ago. It was a little earlier than the state of California did it, but we did it on March 6th, 2020. And then it seemed to remember that you came back for a while in the middle there.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then Omicron happened, and everybody went home again.
Jiggity jig.
Jiggity jig. And now everybody's back. So welcome back, Micah Sargent.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
The two of us today will talk about computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smartwatches, augmented reality. Actually, we may actually have something to say about augmented reality next weekend. Apple has come forth with an event on Tuesday, the 8th. And what's interesting is the invite. Okay, I'm gonna do that thing, the Kremlinology.
I was wondering if you're going to use that term.
Yeah, maybe these days we don't want to use that anymore. But it's coming back. It's back in vogue.
That's true.
When they in the old days of the Soviet Union, when they would post pictures of the leaders on the podium there during the May Day parade, you would watch very carefully, see who. We do this with Kim Jong-un too, who was in front, who wasn't, who had been erased, and that was called Kremlinology, because you couldn't get any information from the Kremlin, understanding what was going on, but you could kind of read the tea leaves from
signals.
Who had what position on the podium. Well, in this case, we try to read the signals from the Apple invitations. And they're cryptic, they're terse, and I'm pretty sure that Apple knows that and does it on purpose, right? They want us to talk about it.
Some people hold a different idea that the graphic design team knows nothing other than some sort of basic information. And so the two sometimes happen to match up, sometimes don't. But I like to live in a world where there is a little bit of mystique.
You want some hope in the world.
Yeah,
you don't want to have that
fun.
Grim, dusty vision of nobody knows nothing.
Exactly. Nobody knows nothing.
Nobody knows
That's
nothing.
not the world I want to live in.
I got to move the Vuvuzela. It's blocking your clock. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Oh, now I can tell the time.
Now you can tell what time it is. And I can... We have an Apple announcement. So the invitation says peak performance. Now, we're pretty sure we know that they're going to at least announce a new iPhone SE with 5G. And that needs to be updated. It's a couple years old. That's their low-end iPhone. I have the old one right here. And it's cute. I like it, and I recommend it. Although, one of the reasons I really like it is because it has the fingerprint
Still has
reader.
the home button,
and the rumor is that won't be the case in the next one. But that's all rumor. We don't know. Speculation, because Apple never says. So, new iPhone SE, low end. This is the time you'd announce that. We're due for an iPad Air.
iPad Air update, yeah.
And I think that's, the Mini. I love the Mini that they announced last year because it looks more like a Pro. It has a Type-C connector, has the squared edges, and I think they might do the same with the iPad Air. But
I think, too, that, it's time to update the iPad Air as much as possible while keeping it in that Air price point. So,
yes. So if you're in the market for an iPhone or SE or an iPad Air, then you should wait till Tuesday to see what Apple says. The real interesting thing is, what else are they going to say? So peak performance, spelled, by the way, P-E-E-K, we'll get to that, Neither the iPhone SE 5G nor a new iPad Air really kind of implies
Peaking
performance. It's not.
That is what, yes. So that is what made me think that there could be a hint.
So maybe the graphics department knows nothing, but why would they say that?
But the marketing department that comes up with the tagline probably knows more.
Right.
And that peak, the performance thing is exactly what made me go, maybe there's more to this. Because
that's got to be an M1 Pro
iPhone
or
SE
Max,
is not super performance.
Or maybe an M2.
I think that, it's pointing to, it's saying, look at the performance that we're going to see in the next
something performant
devices.
Maybe it's a faster iPad Air, but boy, it doesn't. So I think, again, this is pure criminology because Apple is very tight. They don't tell anybody anything. There's rumor mills and stuff, and but I think that means we're probably going to see a Mac. That's what I'm thinking, performance. But then peak. Now, if it was just fast, it'd be PEAK, like peak, top of the hill.
Yeah.
Top of the line, number one performance. But it's not. It's PEEK, which is a pun, right?
Yes. And so for you see that as something lens related or
peaking,
eye related. Yeah.
Peaking.
Yeah.
It seems to me. You tell me if I'm overdoing this.
Okay.
I might be pulling this thread.
I'm gonna pull once you go with it. I'm gonna pull in something to do with the Utes after you go. That makes me
good because you're a lot younger than me. So you're actually less than half my age.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of stunning because you're an old man in spirit.
In spirit, just not in body.
Just not in body. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yes, peak, PEEK means peaking. So it could have two meanings here. So this really is a double pun. Meaning number one is we're going to have a peek at something new. We're going to take a peek. Let's take a little peek at something new, which means they might show something that they aren't yet shipping. Ooh. But we're going to give you a little peek behind the curtain at something we're working on.
Okay, I like that. Yeah. That's not what I was thinking.
No, that's part one.
Okay, part one.
Part two, I think you're down with because part two is we know that the rumors say Mark Gurman, who's a very well-connected rumor monger at Bloomberg, says that Apple this year will announce a VR device, something you put on your eyes, some visor thing. So I'm going to say that this triple pun, this triple entendre means they are going to show, but not yet offer for sale, an Apple VR thing.
Why would they? One
more thing. Why would they pre-announce? Sometimes people say, well, Apple never pre-announces, so they do.
That's not true. Yeah, they do.
And they do it when they have something they've never done before. Not when we're going to pre-announce the next version of, Mac OS. Or they announce something where it's such a new device that they want to get people lined up, like the Mac Pro, the trash can Mac Pro when they did that. We want to get people lined up behind it, developers writing for it.
Developers especially, yep.
So, boy, that was a long way to go for really nothing.
We got to do what we got to do, right?
There's nothing else to talk about. No, there's plenty to talk about. So, peak performance implies to me both a Mac and a peek at a virtual reality device. I'm just going to put that down, and then Tuesday we'll find out. Next weekend you can say, "Boy, you were really wrong when you said that."
So the first thing that you said actually did give me second thoughts. I thought, okay, there might be more to this because how I took it was kind of a thing that I hear, as I said, the Utes say a lot, which is like peep this or peep that.
Oh, they do? That's a thing?
Yeah, it's like whenever you're saying peep my new shoes, which means look at my new shoes.
But they didn't say peep performance.
They didn't say exactly. They didn't say peep.
If they had, I think we'd all be going, what?
Is it Easter? Where are the marshmallow
what are we talking about?
Candies?
Well, it is. Okay, you know what? Easter's coming. Maybe it's peeps.
So I just thought it was a more middle ground way of saying that more modern phrase of, hey, check out the performance we're rocking. Check it out.
Peep
and
it.
So
peep
for that,
this.
peep
because
this.
we're on fleek.
And exactly. So with that, it's just look at the new M2 that we're working on.
I'm always so behind.
But I would love to see a one more thing.
Yeah. They haven't done a one more thing in a long time. That used to be Steve Jobs' thing, right? He'd say, all right, we're going to announce this. Oh, yeah, fine, thank you. And then Steve says, oh, but one more thing.
And then everyone go,
I want to announce the New World Order. But has Tim Cook done a one more thing?
He's done at least one.
Okay.
And I can't remember what device it was when
Cook's
he did
the CEO of Apple, and he's not as dynamic and as exciting as Mr. Turtleneck, but
charging pad.
Yeah,
that never came.
Something that
never was.
That's why they shouldn't and don't often announce things ahead of time because they did. They announced that that thing that would charge your phone and your watch and your AirPods, and they never released it. What was it called? Do you remember? Nobody remembers.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
The Power
At this
Pad,
point, AirPad,
Launch
top
Pad,
the launch pad. That's what it is.
Something pad, power monger.
That's
thinger.
Exactly the power monger laydown thingy.
Yeah, that's what it was. Anyway, so that's kind of our thing. And Micah is an astute observer of the Apple scene. He hosts our iOS Today show. He's going to be sitting next to me when we do the Mystery Science 3000 thing for the Apple event on Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. You're going to be there, right?
Yes,
1800
absolutely.
UTC. I don't know. Maybe
UTC.
You've got your alarm clock set to world time.
I do. So
1800 UTC. We'll stream that. Apple streams it, and then we stream it at twit.tv/live and hope not to get taken down.
Folks who watch iOS Today can tune in early that day to watch the show, 8 a.m. Pacific instead of 9 a.m. Pacific.
So you'll be getting ready. You'll be getting people ready. Mm-hmm. Then we'll do the thing. You and I will talk while Tim Cook's talking, and then after that we do our Mac show, Mac Break Weekly. So it's a busy Tuesday coming up. Now the rest of you don't care one whit about any of this stuff. Good, because we're going to take your calls next. 8888 Ask Leo's the phone number. You can talk about anything you want. 888-827-5536, toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, use Skype. Leo and Micah, it's the Tech Guy Show. Your call's next.
He actually announced the Apple Watch, Apple Music, iPhone.
They announced the watch ahead of time?
Yeah.
Because that was the first watch, right?
Yeah.
Give me that fine letter.
Make sure it's not
carefully
arsenic.
typed. Carefully typed. Good day, Leo. Good day, sir, says Jonathan. I am a long-time listener going back to Tech TV days. Over the last few years, I have listened to your Tech Guy podcasts each weekend. That is changing. I recently took the time to complete your annual Twit survey. I was disappointed to find no field for comments to be included, hence the reason for writing this letter. Hence the reason we don't take comments. No, we don't take comments because we get almost 10,000 surveys, and nobody has time. Ain't nobody got time to read all the comments. So really, the whole point of the survey is so that they can put together sales materials, and it was very good. Something like 99% of our audience listens to all or most of every show. Things like that. Ages, demographics, how they listen, stuff like that. So that's why the survey, and I apologize because the survey did leave out a few things like Linux as an operating system.
I feel bad.
But again, I think I think the marketing people are thinking, well, no advertiser cares about that, which is wrong because we have Linode.
I think it was honestly just
it was just a mistake.
An oversight.
It was a slip.
Yeah.
And it's my fault. I take full responsibility because I was supposed to review it.
I mean, I took the survey 8 times and I had some other things,
notice either.
but I didn't notice the Linux thing, and I feel bad about
the other
that.
thing I feel bad about is we have our own social network, Twit Social, and when they asked you what social networks you use, they didn't mention our own dang social network. So anyway, I respect and understand that as an owner and host, you have the absolute right to include the content you choose to. Also to read offensive letters out loud. Listeners have the right to be offended by the things you say or content in your shows. With that in mind, I support your freedom of speech. Well, that's very good of you, Jonathan. Thank you. Twit programs have been tainted by political inferences and commentary, thus negating the enjoyment and escape of your lighthearted tech talk. That's what it is. It's no longer lighthearted tech talk.
Yeah, we're pretty dour.
It hasn't been lighthearted tech talk in ever because, the
tech overlaps.
Politic and tech have something to do with each other.
Especially
like President Trump's Truth Social.
That's one example.
That's a tech
Another
story.
Example is how big tech has played a role in the world global politics.
Absolutely. Disinformation. Yeah. When I owned my radio station, he owned one. I had every opportunity to put forth my political views. I guess your listeners didn't like it so much because you no longer own it. Yeah. Over recent months, you've effectively pushed away listeners. Well, don't generalize. You don't know, Jonathan. Pushed away you is fine. With differing political views, from the last presidential race to COVID policy to global politics and more.
What? Okay.
He says it should be a pause that refreshes. Yeah.
A pause that refreshes. What does that mean?
I hope that you will accept this letter as positive and make changes to reverse the trend that is dividing our nation.
Oh, my God.
Liberals used to mean acceptance and tolerance of different viewpoints. I don't think you can really blame liberals for this, but okay. Okay, fine. Okay.
I think it's really why. Oh, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, it's fine. I get letters like that.
Yeah, I've gotten a few
every week or
DMs
so.
and emails.
Yeah, that's fine. It's really okay. I don't mind. You don't have to listen, frankly. Where can you buy the finest chocolate? Asks Chris in Miami, who is a coffee fanatic.
Yeah, I don't know why Chris thought I would know.
Let me tell you something.
I'm flattered.
Let me tell you something. The chocolate we had in Oaxaca was quite amazing because the beans are grown right up there in the mountains, and they go up in the small villages, and they get the beans, they bring them down, they grind them, they make them, and sometimes it's Mexican chocolate. Like that had almonds in it. People probably don't like it with the nuts and stuff like the cinnamon. I noticed nobody's eating them on my pacha.
Wait, there's a kind with almonds and cinnamon?
Yeah, that's Mexican
sounds amazing.
Style.
Oh.
I wondered why we
Now
didn't play this more for her. This is it. Mama boogie da bo bo ho. Kim
Different
Schaefer's
song, but
here.
I didn't know you knew the lyrics, Leo.
I'll take
She's
Gaga
up
anytime.
in the club taking your calls. It's not a very busy club, is it? It's kind of quiet.
No, it's pretty quiet in here.
Yeah. No, we do have disco lights, but we haven't turned them
There's
on.
a disco ball.
Yeah, no, we haven't.
It loses its little mirror things every once in a while.
Do they
find them on the floor?
You find little mirrors on the floor? Do you give them to John to glue back in place?
John, I think he's got a jar of them.
Making a necklace.
As soon as we get it, John says, as soon as we get an intern, that's job one, is gluing the mirrors back on the ball. Wow.
It's going to be because it's going to be like a puzzle. You have to get just the right one.
It's true.
They're not
They're all
the
different
same.
shapes. Yeah. So, my dear friend Kim Sheffer answers the phone when it rings. Mm-hmm. Has it ringed? Ringed? Is it ringing?
It has rung. Ringed.
The phone has runged?
It has ringed and
Is there
rung.
someone on the phone?
There's a few people on the phone.
Well, who should I talk to?
Well, let's talk to our fine friend Sal up in Ottawa.
Ottawa. Eh?
Ottawa, eh?
Don't say that. They hate it when you do that. Of course, you and I both did.
I had a grandpa from Buffalo. He had a little bit of a Canadian thing going on.
Buffalo's practically Canada.
Yeah.
It's South Detroit anyway. Thank you, Kim. Hello, Sal from Ottawa. Good to talk to you. Welcome.
Hello. Hey, great to talk to you too.
You are a francophone. You're not one of them A guys.
No, I am definitely a francophone.
I can tell. Welcome.
Thank you.
Bienvenue. What is going on? Yes.
So I actually have two questions, but before I do, I got to get something off my chest. I just wanted to say I love you.
Oh, man, I love you too, man. Oh.
It's out there. There's nothing you can do about it. I've been following you since the beginning of time, and really
Thank you,
so.
Sal. Thank you.
And today is great to speak to the phone angel and the tech angel. So
yeah, and we got Micah here too, so you get the whole gang.
Yeah, you're spoiling me. You're spoiling me. I got two questions if we have time. So my first one is this. So I got a setup with 4 LCD monitors, and I still have 2 just collecting dust. And I also have a small mini PC, which I believe has Windows 10. That's
Wait a minute, you want to have 6 monitors? Is that where you're going with this?
No. So my 4 monitors are for my station, but the other monitor, what I wanted to do was create a digital display, kind of like an Echo Show 15. So I have a mini PC that's collecting dust as well with Windows 10 and a 21-inch monitor. I wanted to put it up in the wall and get that digital display where you have like photos, calendars, news, notes.
Yeah.
So I did a bit of research. The only thing that I was able to find was a website called DAKboard. It kind of looks like it does what I want to do, and I don't have a problem paying for the software. This is subscription-based. I try to stay away from subscription-based for at least for something like this.
Here's the thing. Where you're going down the wrong route is you have this NUC, this little Intel Windows machine. So you're looking for a Windows solution. The truth is, a better solution is to buy a $35 Raspberry Pi.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because there is a ton of free open source software that will let you kind of glue the Raspberry Pi to the back of the 21-inch monitor so it's hidden, I mean, it's because it's smaller. It can run in the background, low power. It doesn't need, it doesn't get real hot. So it's really better for this. You don't need such a big fancy thing as that Intel NUC to do that. And you'll find a lot more software. Windows doesn't get in the way of this software. So if that's, there are lots of, on Raspberry Pis, there are lots of ways to do this. There's even, I would guess, I don't have to look, but there's even, I think, an operating system to do this. So I'm looking at Maker.pro and how to create a smart mirror using Raspberry Pi and MagicMirror. Now, you don't have to make this a mirror. That's what some people like to do, by the way, is put that in the bathroom, and they see the weather and your stuff. You can do that, but you of course can just do it without a mirror. And the required hardware is a Raspberry Pi and a monitor. And you don't have to use a fancy Raspberry Pi. You can even use an older Raspberry Pi. And the software, quite a lot of software, no subscription or anything like that. So the software is MagicMirror on the Raspberry Pi. So that's one. I mean, that's one of, I would say, dozens of options. This is a very popular project. It was my goal all along. I never got around to doing this in the hall. When you go to a radio station, sometimes they have the hosts, pictures of the host down the hall. I wanted to do Harry Potter style pictures where they look like they're pictures in a frame, but every once in a while it looks at you and winks or wanders off like it.
Nice.
Wouldn't that be cool? And all that would be is the same software, basically. Or you could have a slideshow or weather, whatever you want. So yes, I would say much easier to do this. Now, I know you want to use that Intel Windows device.
Right.
If you're willing to spend $35 instead, I would say you'd be better off. And in the long run, it'd be cheaper. You wouldn't have to pay a subscription. I don't know if Windows software that'll do this. The problem is,
I've been searching for a while, and I was actually surprised to find the lack of offerings for something like this. I hit that DAKboard website, and other than that, there was nothing.
Yeah.
Like I was actually surprised, and especially today where people are looking for that kind of stuff. I thought there was going to be a whole bunch of offerings.
Well, here's another thing you could do: put Linux on that Intel box, and then run.
Yes, I like Linux.
All right, then run MagicMirror, which is just a Linux app. So, and I'm sure there are many Linux apps to do this, to do display stuff. So I think that's really better. I think it's because of the nature of Windows. They assume it's a commercial project. Maybe you're going to be in a store or something, and so that's why they want to charge you. Try it with Linux. Hey, hang on. You can ask your second question off the air. We got to take a break. Scott Wilkinson, home theater guru, coming up in just a minute. Leo Laporte and Micah Sargent, your tech guys. Just driving you crazy. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Thank you for those very kind words, by the way, Sal. That was very nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, Leo. Aww. Like I said, I've been following you since the beginning of time.
Well, if you like Linux, I think Linux is a better choice to do this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm more familiar with Linux than the Raspberry, although I heard it's not too...
It's just Linux. It's a little Linux computer is basically what it is. Yeah.
Good to... my second question was more of a very quick issue that I had. So I have an Echo Show 5, and in the Alexa app, you can add your calendar. So you click Microsoft, add your calendar, and the Echo 5 will show it, which is great. Then what happened was I said, let me see if I can if I can have my work mail address. So I tried it, and obviously they had restrictions, and it just goes to an error page. Now the problem is every time I try to add accounts at the Microsoft, it goes straight to that error page. I have erased the cache. I have erased the data. I uninstalled and reinstalled Alexa on my phone. And no matter what I do, if I try to add a Microsoft calendar, it goes straight to that company error page.
I've never used. There's a certain similarity between the two questions, by the way. The common thing in there is I've never tried to get my Microsoft. I've always used my Google Calendar on my Echo without any problem at all. So I haven't tried doing it with Outlook. Do you have? So they probably in the Alexa app says sign in your Microsoft account. Does it do that?
Yeah, it goes straight in. So I did one, which was my personal Microsoft Outlook, which went very well. It's working. Then when I tried the work one, obviously they have restrictions. The security says they said, sorry, error.
Yeah.
But now every time I go, it won't give me the option to add another.
I've got an idea, Sal.
Yes.
If you haven't done this, you might try on a computer, on a PC of some sort, launching a private browser and then going to alexa.amazon.com. I don't like to say the word because it triggers everybody's devices and they get upset about it. alexa.amazon.com, and then try doing it from
Do it from the web page instead of the app.
See if that will solve
The
it.
other thing, do you have two-factor turned on your Microsoft account?
Yes. Yeah, I always do.
So that's another problem that often happens. Two-factor, those programs can't handle two-factor. So what you have to do is generate an app-specific password. Are you doing that?
Yeah.
In other words, instead of using your Microsoft login and Microsoft password, you use a special password you generate from your Microsoft account that's just for that purpose.
Got it.
Sometimes they call it an app-specific password.
Got it.
And that, I think, could also be the issue if you're using two-factor. Two-factor is absolutely the way to go, but this is exactly where it's a problem because that second factor, the Alexa doesn't have any way of asking you for the second factor.
Right.
The website might, which would be good. The website might use OAuth, send you to the Microsoft site, let you log in there, and then it will come back with a token and it would work. So try the website first. But if not, you can investigate what they call sometimes they call it a app-specific password or a one-time password. And it's tied specifically to that Echo calendar account.
Perfect.
That's a couple things to try anyway.
Yeah. Awesome. Great.
Awesome, Sal.
Gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Take
great
care.
day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Scotty.
Wow. The
Hey,
background's
Leo.
coming in nice. I dig it.
Yeah, he's turned into a hippie.
The boxes are gone.
Indeed.
Jonathan's
that
going to be
cube's really
so
cool.
upset. Now you're letting hippies on the air?
Yeah, if that guy was mad before.
Yeah, wait till he sees this.
You really do have a great laugh. My
Isn't he
goodness.
the best? It's the best.
Thank you.
What is hip? Scott Wilkinson's hip, especially now that he's got his tie-dye shirt and he's in Santa Cruz, California. Hello, Scott Wilkinson, home theater
Leo.
geek. You hippie, you.
This is my Karamazov brothers T-shirt. By
That's
the
a
way.
beautiful
Remember the
tie-dye.
Karamazovs? You remember the Karamazov
Oh yeah,
brothers?
they're a great juggling act in San Francisco.
I was in their band when they first started in Santa Cruz.
Wow.
Yep.
Weren't they called the Flying Karamazov
They were
Brothers?
the Flying Karamazov brothers.
And they actually appeared in a few movies and stuff. They were kind of a street performing.
They were. And
juggling
we performed
troupe.
in the street in Santa Cruz
Yeah.
for Passing Change. We were busking.
I remember.
And they ended up, they were on the second of the Jewel of the Nile movies. And,
Romancing
anyway,
the Stone, Jewel of the Nile.
Jewel of the Nile, that was the second one,
Yes, yes.
right? They were featured in that one. Anyway.
You
yeah,
can
so
search, if you're interested, they're really fun and it's talented. And you can search YouTube for Karamazov. And,
Flying Karamazov.
The Flying Karamazovs. They have fkb.com? Holy
I don't
cow.
know.
There is
Oh,
a
look
good
at that.
there is a good domain.
URL,
fkb.com. 50 years of juggling. Oh, their new show is out. 50 years of juggling and cheap theatrics. Featuring Scott Wilkinson on tuba.
What's this site?
Well, unfortunately not.
FKB. No.
No. Well, when we were all in Santa Cruz, we did do a show called Everything You Are About to See Is Actually Happening.
So what's up in home theater these days?
Oh, I actually saw a news item this week that both astonished and horrified me.
Okay. Okay.
It's another example of a music star trying to get into technology. You remember the Pono with Neil Young, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, dig this. Kanye West, now known as Ye, has released his latest album called Donda 2.
Yeah.
But it's only available on his player that will cost you $200.
So really the album is $200 in
Correct.
effect. Yeah.
In effect. And you get this player called the STEM player.
Is it a physical player or an app?
It is. It's
you have to have a physical player. Well,
you could go online.
Kanye's
I guess you could
kind of a character.
He is a character, but I found this device interesting. I don't think it'll go anywhere, but it's conceptually something worth thinking about.
Does it sound better? I mean, that was the idea of the Pono, Neil Young's
was a
player.
high-resolution
High
audio.
resolution, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this is that. What this one does is it separates out the music into what are technically called stems. So the bass part is a stem, and the drums are a stem, and the vocals are a stem, and everything else is another stem. This is a technical term that's used more in movies. The dialogue, music, and sound effects are 3 different stems.
Okay.
That are then mixed together.
Okay.
So what this player lets you do is remix the album. You can change the level of the bass versus the drums versus the vocals.
It looks like it has 4 different stems on the device.
Correct.
So you can only pick...
It's a 4-channel mixer.
4-channel, and so you could turn each up and down individually.
Correct.
That's kind of cool.
By dragging your finger along these little lighted
Does this
tabs.
thing have a headphone jack, or do I have to wear Bluetooth?
It does.
Oh,
No,
good.
no, it
Thank
does.
goodness.
It does have a headphone jack.
Okay. And it's tiny.
Yeah.
It's
tiny. It fits in the palm of your hand.
Yeah. It's like
It's smaller than a little
smaller
carton
than
of
a
yogurt.
Chobani yogurt
Exactly.
carton. Yeah.
Exactly.
$200 is pricey if it's the only album I can ever play on it, but I...
No. You can actually upload your own music.
Okay. There you go.
And it will get divided into stems that you can then remix. But the real question is, do you really want to remix the music that was labored over for hundreds of hours by people who really know what they're doing?
A lot of people, I think, I'm not going to speak for the Utes. We have Micah here for that. But a lot of people do that, I think. It's common. You see it on Bandcamp, and people are remixing existing works. In fact, some artists release the tracks so that you can remix them.
That could be flattering, I would think, from an artist, but I don't have time for all of that. I just want to listen to music that they intend.
You could, though, right? You don't have to remix it. You can listen to it as is, right?
Yeah. But people like Steely Dan, for example. The article I first saw was on Slate by a guy named Jack Hamilton, and he said he uploaded Gaucho, a Steely Dan classic tune, and it got split into stems, and he was able to remix it. But Steely Dan is so careful about its mixing that
you're just old-fashioned, Scott. Seriously, you're old-fashioned. The modern world is all about taking existing works of art and remixing
and messing them up.
TikTok's success, and
that's what TikTok's all about.
Built on that, remixing.
I think that the young people like to do that. I know what you're saying. You don't want to look at the Mona Lisa and then see somebody put a mustache on it. That you know,
really,
it is what it is. But we're kind of old school, and I think that is one of the things.
Micah may be better tuned into the reality of current.
And often Kanye has done some cuckoo things, but he's also a great artist, and it may be this is, his fans I think will pay $200. It's an awful lot of money, isn't it?
And there's not even a display on it.
Yeah.
In order to hear to see what you're listening to, you have to connect it to a computer.
Yeah.
So as a device, I think it's pretty lacking. To skip.
Do we know what the sound quality is coming out of it?
We don't.
Don't know anything about that, right?
Don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's high res audio or not. It would be interesting if it was.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was interesting, the whole concept of remixing an album. And I, to tell you the truth, I'm not a TikToker, so I didn't realize that was a common thing these days.
Oh, it is in general. In fact, a lot of content is released over the Creative Commons license, which encourages remixing. The theory, it's an interesting idea.
It is.
I don't want to be the old guy who says, I hate how the kids do
Stay
it
off
these
my
days.
mix, young kids.
Yeah. I mean, I can't see it being a massive commercial success. One of the problems he's going to have, and people mention this, is you're not going to get on the Billboard charts that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. That's
Radio-
the only way you can listen to this album.
Radio stations can't play it.
That's right.
So it's very modern.
It's not on streaming. It's
Not on any other streaming platform.
other streaming
Although,
platform, no.
I kind of sympathize. A lot of artists say, I don't want to be on those streaming platforms. They don't get paid very well by them.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And one of his points about building this thing is exactly that artists get paid so little on streaming platforms that he wants an alternative that artists will get more money, and this apparently is that. So
and remember that his style of music, hip hop, really started based on remixing and sampling other people's works.
True enough.
That's a fair point, and he's really well known for that in general. So
Pete Davidson better just watch out because this is coming at you. So it looks like I can buy it right now.
Oh God,
yeah,
please don't.
Looks like it.
No, I'm not going to. You don't think I should?
No.
Why not? I have a lot of other junk I never use. Why not get another one?
The man, I just don't.
You don't want to
the guy.
support that? No.
I mean, you can if you want to.
I like his music. It's interesting. Let's put it that way.
It's interesting. That's why I bring it up.
It
It's
is
interesting.
Stemplayer.com if you
I
want
hope other artists do this. I would love to see other artists make use of the stem.
Well, then it's fragmented. Oh, use the stem instead of making their own. You wouldn't want to have to carry 10 different little biscuit-sized devices in your pocket just to listen to your favorite artist.
Remix.
Thank you, Scott. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Our show today brought to you by ITProTV. You've heard me talk many times about ITProTV. I'm sure I recommend it all the time to people who want to get into the IT industry and want to get those certifications so you can get that first job, or people who are already in the IT industry who want to polish up their skills, recertify, things like that. What I don't talk enough about is the fact that ITProTV is also great for teams, for businesses. You should consider it for businesses as well. ITProTV. It's basically the best place to go if you want to polish up your IT skills or your team's IT skills. Right now, CCNA time at ITProTV. Every month they have a focus. If you're thinking about getting your CCNA cert, which, by the way, shows that you are an expert in networking fundamentals and IP services and security fundamentals and automation and programmability, you should know ITProTV, along with everything else they do, everything else they have classes and skills in everything Cisco. So this is Cisco month, the month of March at ITProTV. They're going to do another free weekend, March 19th and 20th. There'll be courses in Cisco CCT routing and switching, which is 100-490, Cisco CCNA 200-301, Cisco Cyber Ops Associate 200-201, Cisco CCNP Enterprise Encore, Cisco CCNP Enterprise NRC, Cisco CCNP Security Score. There's a lot of stuff. SNCF. Certified DevNet Associate. There is a lot of stuff, and they're free March 19th and 20th. You can learn and get certified in IT in a way that works with your schedule and, of course, is not only informative, but engaging. It's entertaining, it's fun, but I don't want to say fun like it's not serious. It's serious. It's the kind of thing where you go, this is great. I am enjoying this. I am learning. The people that teach at ITProTV are experts in the field, of course, sure, but they're also really passionate about it and engaging, and they're going to get you as excited as they are about it. That's what I love about ITProTV. Always up to date. IT's constantly changing new versions of the software. The certs change, the tests change. That's why ITProTV has 7 studios. They're on the job all day, Monday through Friday, recording all the time. Those courses go right to the library within 24 hours. So that's how they keep it up to date. 5,800 hours now of on-demand training, up-to-date on-demand training. And they also make sure you're prepared for your exams with their practice tests. I think it's always a great idea to take a practice test before you take the certification exam, just to kind of get you in the mood and give you an idea of what it's going to be like. They have virtual labs. You don't even have to have the software that you're going to run, things like Windows Server. You could just log in with a browser, and there's your server, there's your clients, set it all up. And you know what I like about that? When you screw it up, because you will, I did, you just close the browser tab and look around. Nobody's watching. Okay, go. Let's start over. I actually really like virtual labs. You don't want to miss IT Pro TV's 2 March webinars as well. March 10th, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Avoid Cisco exam traps. Absolutely. The 3 most difficult CCNA objectives. I love that. Wes Bryan's going to host it. March 24th, check out the Cisco NAS webinar. That's going to be good too. All of these are free. And by the way, if you miss the webinars live, you can always see them after the fact at ITPro.TV. And they've got a YouTube channel too and all of that. Don't forget, ITProTV, if you're ready to get into IT, if you want to polish up your skills, if you've got an IT team that you want to level up, enjoy the journey at ITProTV. Check out the business plans for your team, too. Visit ITPro.TV/twit for an additional 30% off all consumer subscriptions for the lifetime of your active subscription. Use the code TWIT30. TWIT30. If you're getting a team subscription, just mention it to your rep. Say, I was told to say TWIT30. And he'll go, Yes, 30% off for the lifetime of your active subscription. ITPro.TV/twit. We thank him so much for supporting the tech guy. We've been friends since they started. And I'm just so proud of the work they're doing. ITPro.TV/twit. Don't forget that offer code, TWIT30. ITPro TV. Build or expand your IT career and enjoy the journey. With ITPro TV, we thank him so much for supporting the Tech Guy Show. We don't have a whole lot of time, but I'll set you up and
fine.
You can do your thing, Do your groove thing, groove thing. Yeah. Tell me what you're doing now. There you go. And then you want to stick around for the top of the hour?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Happy to. Well, I guess I might have to try and put some acoustic treatments in here in this tiny little room. I guess. Anyway, hi, everybody. Nice to see you. I'm working on my set. It's not done yet. And unfortunately, my new binary coded digital or decimal clock is interacting with the frame rate of the camera in a way that my other one didn't. This one's a lot bigger. And it's kind of flashing, and I kind of wish I could figure out a way to get rid of that. But it's a work in progress. It's certainly more cozy, Mike B. It's super tiny, in fact. But I get to look out the window on my lovely, well-manicured backyard. It's really nice. Tech Dino says, I like the new location except for the visual background of tech. You don't like visual background of tech? Well, I'll take that into consideration. Key 43, you can email me your question. Sure, absolutely. Scott@twit.tv. Very easy. Wizardling. Yeah, I need egg cartons on my walls.
Yeah, baby. You know, when a tech guy gets together with another tech guy, and the conversation turns a little late night, talking about motherboards and graphics cards, operating systems. Oh, sorry, that's not the song. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Oh, I like this song. I know this song. TLC.
Waterfalls, yeah.
Waterfalls.
My mom and I used to sing this song in the car together.
Oh, isn't that sweet? That's Micah Sargent. I'm Leo Laporte. We're taking your calls. 8888 Ask Leo. John on the line from St. Petersburg, Florida. Hi, John.
Hello, Leo and Micah.
Welcome.
Hello.
I have Linux fear, and I was hoping that you could help.
I have a little penguin right here that's designed to help you get over that.
You just cuddle it and then you install
Linux fear. What is the fear that you share, that you have?
Yeah, it's probably easy. I've just never worked with Linux before. So I have a work computer that's running Windows. I've had it for a year now, and before that, I was using a Mac and I was using a Chromebook, so I haven't really used Windows since, I don't know, maybe 2008. It's been a long time. So now I'm kind of forced to use this work computer that has Windows, and I don't like it.
I don't blame you.
At all. But I've never, I listen to your show. I'm a big fan, and I've heard you discuss maybe if I have a Windows machine that I could install Linux.
So let me make a suggestion. First of all, let me explain for people listening saying, what is this? So we all know about Mac OS and we know about Windows. Those are the two major commercial operating systems. There's Chrome OS, of course, that Google offers for Chromebooks, Android and iOS. Those are all what we call operating systems. They're the thing that's running when you're not running anything else. It lets you run other programs. It lets you browse the hard drive. Every computer has to have an operating system. Well, back in 1992, a graduate student named Linus Torvalds, that's why the LI in Linux comes from, LIN, decided he wanted to make his own operating system based on the Minix operating system. He called it Linus's Minix or Linux. But he did something really interesting. And this is 92, remember, so the internet wasn't huge yet. It was kind of limited. He said, I'm not going to charge for this. I'm going to give away the software. I'm even going to give away the source code so other people can work on it. All I'm going to do is retain the copyright so somebody can't call something else Linux. So if it says it's Linux, it's based on my operating system, Linux. And it was perfect timing because the internet was just starting. Other people started to work on it, and it took off. It is now the most widely used operating system in the world, thanks to Android, which runs on Linux, and most of the web servers you visit. But I think it's also a good desktop operating system. It's what I use almost all the time. And it's very similar to Mac OS because Mac OS is based on a Unix-style operating system as well. It's also very similar to Windows because the people who create Linux, don't want it to be too odd. Although there are versions of Linux you can get that don't look anything like Mac or PC. They're kind of their own thing. The way you should start is by going to, there are many different distributions, flavors of Linux. They're all based on the same Linus Torvalds kernel, but they have different things on top of it, different installers, different applications they come with, different desktop environments. They look different. And so Linux is kind of one of the nice things about Linux, but also one of the scary things is it's very heterogeneous. There are lots of different ways it can look and feel and you can use. So what I was just going to, probably the most popular Linux, which is Ubuntu, U-B-U-N-T-U. It's not my favorite, but it's a good start because it's so popular, so widespread. And you can download it and put it on a USB drive or a USB key, the installer. All Linuxes will let you do this. They call it a live install. You can reboot the machine, and you might have to go into your setup to say boot to the USB drive or boot to the external drive, and boot to that Linux installer, and it will actually run a full version of Linux without changing your hard drive at all. So now you're running Linux on your computer, but you haven't taken Windows off, you haven't done anything to Windows, it's running off the external drive. And you can just see if it's tolerable. This is all really to do two things. One, to kind of make sure that it will run on the hardware you have. So you check the mouse, check the keyboard, make sure the time is right, things, that you can open things and close things. It'll run pretty slowly, especially if it's running off a USB key. It's not the full speed, but at least you can get a sense. So you can see if it'll work on your machine, which it mostly will. Most PCs work fine with Linux. But then secondly, you can reduce your fear a little bit just to see, oh, yeah, it's got a start menu, kind of like Windows. It's got applications. It doesn't have Microsoft Office. It has something called OpenOffice or LibreOffice, which is a open source version of it. They're analog for all the programs you use already on Windows. They may not be the same program. Mostly they're not. And I think you'll see very quickly, oh yeah, it's just a computer. It's just a computer with. It's like it has an accent. It's just slightly different. It's not speaking a foreign language. It just has an accent. Does that make sense? Does that help at all?
It does. And then
So if after you do this and you play with it and you go, yeah, I can live with that, then one of the applications in that Linux desktop you're running from the external drive says install Linux. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky because it's your work computer, one, so make sure they're okay with it. But two, you don't want to get rid of Windows. You want to do something called a dual boot. And this is the nicest thing. I strongly recommend for anybody thinking about Linux, make a dual boot system so that when you first turn on the system, it shows you what do you want to do today, Windows or Linux? And you could pick. And if you want to switch, you reboot and you pick the other one. So it gives you don't lose anything except a little hard drive space. Linux isn't very big. So when you run the installer, in most cases, it'll say, oh, I see you already have Windows installed. Do you want me to make a dual boot for you? And that's what I would do.
Okay. And the computer's a little slow. I think it's I guess the hard drive is mostly full, and I kind of wanted to just wipe it all and get rid of it.
You might have to, because if it's full, you won't be able to repartition it to make Linux fit on there.
Yeah. So my fear was, I asked, can I do this? And I was told, if it blows up, that's on you. So I was like, okay, I hope it doesn't blow up.
Okay, so now what you want to do in preparation is back up all your data on the Windows machine, download. Microsoft makes something called a Windows Media Installer. Do you have Windows 10 or 11 on there?
It's 10.
10. So you'll download the Windows 10 from Microsoft. Always get it from Microsoft. They have a USB installer, and make that's your rescue pod. If you install Linux and something's not working or whatever, and by the way, don't expect it to be completely smooth sailing. Things may go wrong, but there's always resources out there. Not just me, but there's forums and there's wikis and there's all sorts of online stuff. So have another computer that is working next to you so you can do some research if you need to. But yeah, you can actually wipe that. I would. It'll work much better. Wipe it, install Linux, restore your data because most of those data files are still good. And then if for some reason this was a bad idea, you at least have a Windows installer. You can get right back to where you were.
Okay.
It'll probably run better too, by the way, because you wiped the drive and started over.
Right. That's what I'm hoping, is if I can wipe it completely.
Linux is lighter weight than Windows. Linux should run pretty well. Yeah, if it's a Windows 8 vintage machine, yeah, it's a pretty old machine. But no, that's one of the reasons people use Linux is because it'll run on older machines quite well.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I think that helps me, calm me down, helps with my fear.
It's going to be okay. Another thing to look into is Chromebook Flex, which is Google's new way of putting Chrome OS on an old PC. If your PC is supported, not all are. That actually is not a bad way to go because it is a Linux. It's just a very locked down, and for that reason, much simpler Linux. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. It's going to be okay. Do you want to do it?
And yeah, I think so. I've never wiped a computer or completely done that.
The installer will. Yeah, the installer will actually give you that option. It'll say, "Oh, wait a minute, you got something on here," and there'll be an option to wipe the drive and let it do its own layout. You don't have to do a fancy layout. So what happens with Linux is there's a basic way to use it. And then as you get more and more sophisticated, then you go, I want some more capabilities. I want more flexibility. I want to do it this way, that way. And I want a different file system. And so the sky's the limit on that. You can keep playing with it forever. But install Ubuntu. It'll install on top of Windows. You can say wipe the drive, start over, partition the drive. Let it choose how to partition the drive. Let it do the whole thing. And it'll boot up as a running Linux box.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to like it.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm looking forward to it. But you have definitely calmed me down. So thank you so much for your help.
I talked very calmly. No, don't do it. It's crazy. You're insane. Oh my God, it's going to go horribly. Well, it could go wrong, but that's why you have the Windows installer.
Okay.
Hey, have
Great.
fun.
Thanks for your help.
Call back next week. Let me know how it goes. It's a good experiment.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, we'll do.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, Scotty. It is time. Woohoo. It is the Scott Wilkinson
The background matches his
10th
shirt.
of an hour.
Yeah, it does. Look at that.
Wow. We are in hippy dippy land now.
Yeah, we are.
That's very colorful. The whole thing's quite colorful. I like it.
I like being colorful. What can I
You're a
tell you?
colorful fella. See, I have to say, you look happy in Santa Cruz. You look like you're.
Oh, I'm very happy in Santa Cruz.
You found somewhere to go get coffee and
Oh, yeah.
all that. Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Can you walk out of the house and be somewhere, or do you have to go down the hill?
No, I have to go down the hill.
Yeah.
I'm like a couple blocks away from the university entrance.
I'm pretty sure I know where you are. That's where my first girlfriend lived, in that development right there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I used to bicycle up that hill, and that was murder.
Man.
That was murder.
Oh man! Well, you were a youngster.
I didn't have
then.
a car. I was a youngin'. Yeah.
I got to tell you. When I was in college here, I was playing tuba in the Santa Cruz Symphony and University Symphony. I used to hitchhike with my tuba.
Yeah.
And
nobody's going to murder somebody with a tuba. Murderers don't pick up tuba guys.
It's true. It's true. Only VW vans, and there were plenty of them at the time.
Oh God, there were so many. In fact, now they're coming out with VW vans that match your shirt. Hey, tell people where you get that shirt, because I think people want it.
Oh, I don't know.
I thought it was a brand name.
He made it.
No. I got it when I was with the Flying Karamazov brothers.
Oh, does it have a name on it or anything, or just?
Yeah, it says the Flying Karamazov.
So this is from 1973.
It is.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's when I graduated from high school. Holy Santa Cruz High. I should have that shirt, but I don't. I wish I did. Wait, how do you keep the colors so bright and vibrant?
Well, I will tell you my secret.
Use bounce.
No, I do not put T-shirts in the dryer. I hang dry them.
Oh yeah, you're smart. At least it's the same way. But the colors, I'm surprised it's not faded.
Well, I don't wear it very much.
Yeah, that's a special shirt.
Special for
It's
today.
a beautiful
because I'm
shirt. Yeah.
Here in Santa Cruz.
Oh, I love that shirt. We got to get what is his name? Woo's tie-dye. We got to get Woo to do
Wong Wei
tie-dye. We
got to get Scott some Wong Wei tie-dye.
If you
I'm down with that.
Take a picture of that shirt and we'll send it to Wong and see if he can duplicate it, because he would sell a lot of those. I like the ones he does, which are much more subtle.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't mind a.
I haven't seen any this color scheme though. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Wong Wei tie-dye on Facebook. He doesn't have a
wow.
web
Where is he located?
He's up here in Petaluma. He's just a friend. He's a friend of mine.
He's given me 2 whole shirts, and when I wear them, I get such compliments. It's amazing.
And I've got more than 20 of them because I kept winning them from him. So he just keeps all the football games. I must be a good gambler because I kept winning them.
His are more muted, kind of. They're very pretty.
Yeah.
They're not that. Yours is such a statement.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he could do it, though. Gosh.
I don't know. I don't know if he does that pattern, but it would be interesting. I'll have to send him this video.
It's just how you tie the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Tie the T-shirt, and you can do it.
Yeah.
Send Scott. Send me a picture of that shirt.
I will, and you'll send it on.
I will send it to Wong,
okay.
and I'll tell Wong I'll pay $100 for that shirt. Seriously.
He'll do it. If he can do it, he'll do it.
Okay, just tell him. All right.
All yours. I'll
Scott.
send him a picture.
Yeah.
I'll send you a picture, and you
send me a picture. I'm gonna commission Wong's official tie-dye.
Mm-hmm. I like it. So, okay, everybody. I got a couple questions already by email. Gosh, give my email out and people send me stuff. I appreciate that. So, yeah, if you have a question, Scott@twit.tv. TI83 asked me what I think of the Sony XBR A80J OLED 55-inch. He was visiting his dad, and the old plasma bit the dust, so he had to go out and get something quick. That is exactly what to get, an OLED. Whether it's a Sony or an LG, you can debate the minor differences. Sony probably has better processing, although LG's got great processing. So, that's not a big concern one way or the other. Sony's are typically a little more expensive, so might have saved a few bucks going with LG, but doesn't really matter. I'd say that you did great. That OLED is the perfect replacement for a plasma. Perfect replacement for a plasma. How did my pop filter do?
Watch stuff on our OLED, and Lisa says it's too real. It's too real. I can't take it.
Too real.
I feel like I'm there. It's too real.
Yeah, man. It is.
We love it.
You know what was weird? We recorded. I'm on Xfinity now for my regular linear TV, and we love to watch Penn and Teller fool us, and we recorded it last week, and the aspect ratio was wrong. What? It was scrunched into a 235 to 1, and the resolution was terrible. It was horribly soft and all distorted.
Did you record it with the Xfinity box?
Xfinity box, yeah. And we had recorded the week before, and it was fine. And I looked at other stuff, and it was fine. So it was the show, it was the broadcast that was messed up. I intend to complain about.
I shall be complaining.
Yeah, I
don't know why that would be. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It was very weird.
It sounds like a Comcast screw up, to be honest.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, yeah, Comcast. Yeah. Oh yeah, Kim's got a tie-dye dealer for me. It's Wong, I'm sure.
Wong Wei, yeah.
Yeah. I must. Does he have a website? I have to go look.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. Wong Wei tie dye.
Okay.
They're much more subtle, though. They're not.
Yeah, they're not big and bold like this.
This is how tie dye used to look in the early days.
I know. Well, this is from the early days. Tech Dino's a bit distracted by the LEDs behind me. I was wondering if they're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at my shot. I have all this blinky stuff going on.
I know.
Don't worry.
I haven't found my real lava lamp. I had a secondary one, but it's not really behaving very well. I haven't unpacked. I haven't found where my original one is. Hey, the Sue the Writer. Good to see you. Always happy to see you here. Yeah. Wong Wei can call this the Wilkinson. Beatmaster, LG has more HDMI 2.1 ports on their OLED. That may very well be true. Loquacious wonders if I remember the dye spot at the Renaissance Fair. I do. That was wonderful.
Thank you, old timer.
Stay off my...
Yo, hippie. Isn't it funny the hippies are now like old timers? Like flappers?
Hippies are... Yeah.
Jeez. What happened? Thanks, Scott. Have a great week.
Time marches on. Thanks, you too. See you next week.
Well, hey. How are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smartwatches, all that jazz. 8888. Ask Leo. Micah Sargent is with me to help us answer the calls, representing the under 30 set. I'm still under 30, right?
Barely. Yes.
Barely. You're getting there. 88. Well, but see, it's a different world. Your generation has grown up with the internet. You can't remember a time that there wasn't an internet, right?
Barely.
Like when you were 4.
Yeah, I would have been pretty young.
Yeah.
Certainly, I have fond memories of dial-up. But,
yeah. Well, what were we talking about earlier? We were talking about 1992 or 93 or 94. And the internet was there when Linus Torvalds first wrote the Linux, 92. So it's the same age you are.
Yeah, I was going to say, year I was born.
The internet was there, and he was at a university, so he was able to communicate with people over the internet. But it wasn't widely used by the public until the 96 or 97. So yeah, you were probably just a little in. Did you get one? Do you remember your first computer?
I didn't have a personal computer. We had some gateway PC. That's the one I remember anyway. And then at school, we used the colorful Macs.
Yeah.
And I remember
Those
we
came out in
couldn't afford
98,
it,
so,
but my grandparents could. And so we had dial-up internet out at my grandparents' house.
Fancy.
Yeah. And so I would go out there and put in a bunch of different floppy disks to load games onto the machine and play them.
Yeah. So you're a millennial. So those are the guys who kind of had the internet, certainly in high school and college, but maybe not when they were really little. And then I guess probably now, any kid under the age of, say, 20.
Oh, yeah.
It's been their whole life.
Oh, the whole time.
They don't know what it's like without Snapchat and Twitter and Facebook. And that's different. And I think that does make a difference. I think it does change your perspective. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number, toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. I mean, people don't make phone calls anymore. They don't have phones telephones in their house. They have smartphones, but those are really computers that happen to make digital phone calls. Let me ask you this, when you call friends, do you make audio calls or do you do FaceTime? Or
See, it's right after me that there's a FaceTime generation because I hate that. I really hate FaceTime.
Yeah, my daughter always wants to Duo, which is Google's version of that. That's all. She always wants to Duo. I don't want to Duo.
That's my siblings, yeah. They call me, it's via FaceTime.
It's FaceTime.
No,
I FaceTime with my 88-year-old mother.
Okay.
She likes to FaceTime.
There you go.
So I guess it's not an age thing.
Maybe it isn't, yeah.
It's just a style thing. Mike on the line, audio only from Auburn, Maine. Hello, Mike.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm great. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Just getting ready to log into work. Hey, listen, I was looking for suggestions on a mini PC. I got all the monitors that I need, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And they should all work for gaming. But I'm wondering about a mini PC, what sort of specifications.
Do you want a game on the mini PC?
I do.
Okay. So that is the only thing that's at all challenging. Mini PCs, Intel called them NUCs, the new unit of computing. And these things are the size of, gosh, I'm going to say something really dated, a 45 record. That's not going to do it. How would you describe? They're not very big. They're about 6 inches, 8 inches across, a couple inches deep. The Mac Mini is Apple's version of it. People might be familiar with that. The problem with them is because of their size, they don't have discrete graphics cards. So if you really want to do serious gaming, you probably need to take a step up from the NUC.
Okay. I'm looking more.
How big are you looking at? Like there's a shoebox size too, right?
Yeah, that's fine. That would be fine.
Okay. Yeah, and those are big enough that you could put they'll have a slot for maybe a graphics card in it. I would go, what you don't want is the tower, the big tower case. Is that what you're saying, basically?
It's not really that. It's just I just don't want anything. I don't want to have to pay for the monitors because I have the monitors.
Oh, well, then you can get a tower then. So it's not necessarily this. When you said mini, I'm thinking size. You just don't want a all-in-one, which is like an iMac. Yeah, there's many choices out there. How serious are you about gaming?
I don't game at all. PC.
So you mentioned gaming. But you're not going to game.
Capable, right? I want it to be capable to do so in the coming years.
Okay.
For when you get around to gaming.
When you get around to gaming. So there's the NUCs, which are the really small ones. When you said mini, that's what I thought you were talking about. There's what we call ITX and mini ITX. These are more shoebox sizes. And then there's full towers, which are kind of what people are used to. Those beige boxes. You said you had a gateway computer. That's what it was. It was a beige box, maybe, 18 inches to 2 feet high, and they had drive bays in them, and there's more room in there, especially for graphics cards. What you could do right now, since you're not gaming, is get one and not get the graphics card. Just get basic graphics, which come with the motherboard. And then when you say, I want a game, then, and it'd be smart to do this, you could spend the hundreds of dollars for the gaming. They call it a GPU, graphics processing unit. And the reason you might want to wait is right now they're in such short supply that they're way overpriced. So they'll be less expensive in a year by a lot, especially if everybody, ramps up like they're expected to. There may be a glut of them, in which case it's going to even be better. You're also competing with Bitcoin miners and cryptocurrency miners. They buy them up. And so the prices are really through the roof for the graphics cards, and that's for high-end gaming. If you just want to play poker, online poker, you don't need a fancy machine. It's if you want to play all the, Elden Ring, the games people are talking about today, the high-end games, then you need a graphics card. So if you were more serious about gaming, I'd say go somewhere like Alienware. I got a gaming PC from Alienware. That's Dell's gaming side. But you're going to pay a premium, and it's going to look kind of cool and space age and all that stuff. I think Dell is fine. Just go for the regular Dell. They make, and you can go kind of by price there. They do sell those all-in-ones that you don't want, but they also sell standard desktops. We use Dell Precision workstations for our editors because those are high end. But I would look at an XPS desktop. They start about $600 at Dell.com. I think they're very good. They're solid. Dell has good support. You might even want to pay, depending on how much you want to support it yourself. You might even want to pay for their higher end support, where they come out, they fix it, and at least for the first year or so. I would look at an XPS desktop. I think those are probably very good basic devices that can be upgraded down the road.
Gotcha. Now, in terms of things like RAM and numbers like that,
I'll give you some things. You want 16 gigs of RAM, at least.
16, okay.
Don't go less. There's a sweet spot in the graph where performance versus price. So as the price goes up, performance goes up, but the performance starts to slow down. So it kind of levels out and the prices go up, but the performance isn't going up as much. 16 gigs is where you get, I think, the best bang for your buck. You could go to 24 or 32 gigs, but though that would be for like if you're doing a lot of photo editing or video editing, something like that. I think 16 is fine. Hard drive, absolutely only get an SSD. Do not get a spinning drive. SSDs are faster. They're just as reliable these days. They really impact performance. And I think a terabyte is plenty. Actually, my main machine, my laptop, is half that. It's 512, and I've not run out of room at all. It's plenty of. It requires a little discipline that you don't store everything and its brother on there, and you get rid of stuff when you don't need it anymore. But so at 16 gigs of RAM, a terabyte of storage or less. You don't need 2 or 3 or 4. You always can get external stuff. And then you're going to be probably looking at Intel processors, and i5 is adequate. If you want to do gaming, either look at an i7 and make sure it's 11th generation or later, the newer generations, or even an AMD Ryzen. That's what I use in my gaming device, and those are very good. Good bang for your buck. If you at some point want to add memory, you can. That's the nice thing about these towers. Unlike a laptop, you could buy another memory module and put it in.
And this would be something that I could maybe possibly. My goal would be to have the whole racing set up.
Oh, you're going to be driving Forza. Huh? Yeah. This would work with that. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. And if you think you're going to do that, then get a faster processor now. Maybe even get a graphics. You maybe even look at the Alienware. Because if you're pretty sure, no, I really want to do this. The biggest expense is going to be the pedals, the stick, the steering wheel, all that controllers, and you have multiple monitors. That's going to be fun. You're going to have a good time.
Awesome.
Enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
And nice to see you again, Micah.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
Take care, Mike. Yeah, I love to game. And so I bought a high-end gaming PC. Yeah. For a lot of people, if what you want to do is play, high-end games, getting an Xbox or PlayStation is probably going to be easier than a PC. PC often requires a lot of messing around with it to get
Finagling.
it. Finagling, that's the word. 8888 Ask Leo. More of your calls coming up in just a little bit. Micah Sargent's here. If you have a question for him, you can call that same number, 888-827-5536. Website, techguylabs.com. He wants to play Forza. Now the truth comes out.
Eventually.
He hasn't told his wife yet. That's all. That's what that means. Yeah, I'm going to be guy in Falcon Northwest. Great company. There are a number of good boutique companies that make gaming machines. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, with Micah Sargent, tech guy 2, TOO. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number if you want to talk high tech. We can do it. Ken's on the line from Houston, Texas. Hi, Ken.
How you doing?
I am well. How are you?
I'm good. I just want some advice. I've had G3, 4, 5, 6, 8 on 8 now, but I need a replacement. But I want it to have Dolby Atmos stereo sound. I don't care about the vision too much. I just care about the stereo.
Jeez.
And I don't want the G9 power doesn't have that.
You're talking about the Motos, MOTO.
Right.
So that's interesting because I don't pay a lot of attention. I know some of my phones have Dolby audio and some don't. You said you want Dolby Vision? You want the HDR video?
I think it's called Atmos.
Yeah, Atmos is the audio.
Atmos.
Yeah. It's surround audio.
Yeah.
I've always thought...
I know there's other brands, but I love the Moto, but I'm not going to buy that one.
Yeah, it's interesting they don't do it. So
they learn from Google, no doubt.
Do you? Yes, right. Just take out features. No one will notice. Do you? It's basically the reason is they pay Dolby for the right to put that on there.
Right.
Do you notice a difference with Dolby Atmos?
Well, I do. I listen to a lot of classical music, and it's pretty good.
It sounds more surrounding.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not glued to Moto. Lots of ones that have it.
Lots of phones do. I'm looking at my. I just got the S22 Ultra, which is a very expensive Samsung phone. I bet you they don't come. Let me look. Let me just look. I'm out of curiosity.
Samsung is, a whole different bag.
They have their own kind. I'll be honest. I'm actually interested to hear you say that you could tell the difference because in my experience, this is mostly a branding play. It's just so they can put it on the spec list and put a sticker on the box.
I understand. Yeah.
They're paying money to Dolby to do that. It's not the same thing as Dolby Atmos on your TV or in a movie theater. Dolby Atmos in those cases has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 speakers, because there's which your phone clearly doesn't, right? So it has speakers above you. That was the big change with Atmos, as well as behind you, at your ear, in front of you, in the center channel, and a subwoofer. So that's not what you're getting, obviously. When you get it in a stereo or a TV, you're getting the capability of decoding a Dolby Atmos signal, and then you would have to hook up the right number of speakers to get that effect. On a phone,
right? With Moto, it's got louder stereo than most.
It just sounds louder, huh? Yeah, I think it's. Do you have? And you don't listen with headphones? You listen to the speakers?
Well, yeah, I do. I mean,
okay.
I have
that's a big deal.
I can listen to it.
That's a big deal because the quality of the speakers on these phones varies widely. And I would say that's an even bigger deal than whether it has Dolby Atmos or not. Some phones,
right.
Yeah, like this Samsung is tinny as heck. I'll play some music. You can hear it. It's terrible.
I know. I have one of those.
Yeah, it's not a good. It's not. You would want to always use headphones, and I think that's the whole Samsung's whole thinking is why would anybody be doing this from the speakers. But I think that a surprisingly large number of people do actually listen to the speakers on their phone. I guess this doesn't sound too bad.
It's not terrible.
It's, you know what? You and I grew up, I'm going to guess, I'm just guessing, Ken, in an era when AM radios were popular, right? Right? I'm just guessing. I don't want to make you sound like an old coot, but
I'm 74.
Yeah, we remember the little thing you carry in your hand, an AM radio, and frankly, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, early music, rock music, that's how we heard it. And so we don't mind something a little.
And then we bought 4-track.
And big cost Pro 440A headphones that weighed 8 pounds, and your head couldn't be upright, so you had to lie on your back. But we did listen to those little tinny things, and actually, now that I'm listening to this Samsung, it isn't that bad. It's better. Of course, I'm listening to some twangy music, so maybe if I listen to something like TLC's Waterfalls, it might not sound quite the same, but. So what you're really looking for, I would say, first and foremost, is a phone with good speakers, and then secondarily, if it can have Dolby, the Dolby Atmos these days.
Yeah, and one other stipulation is I like around $300. I'm not really.
Well, that's the other thing, and that's why you love those Motos, and I agree. Yeah. I'm a big fan of the Motos because in a mid-priced phone, they're very good. In that price point, I would take a look at, and I think Google's going to update this. If you like Android, I think. Despite all the hate that people have gotten for the Pixel 6 Google phone, I think Google does the best Android. They do the cleanest Android. It's their operating system, right? So I would take a look at, not certainly the 6, but the 5A. Okay. And there will be a 6A. I don't know if it does Dolby Atmos, but it will.
It's okay. It doesn't matter as long as the sound
sounds good. Yeah, that's what you really want is good speakers.
Yeah,
I mean, they'll all have an equalizer in them. And actually, that's really what Dolby Atmos on a phone is
Tell Jonathan that they have an off button. You can look on YouTube for the instructions for it.
Thank you, sir. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Johnny Jet coming up. Yeah, they should do a review of phone speakers. Nobody does because everybody assumes.
And that's the problem is that it's the tech people with their tech minds thinking that nobody's doing that. But the truth is that people do listen with their phone speakers.
Do. I don't. Johnny, you went to Hawaii. You didn't take me.
Yes.
Aloha.
I'm sorry.
Move the
I did take my kids, though.
Move the mic a little away from your mouth because we're getting some
How
breath.
about that?
That's much better. Even a little bit more, maybe even.
All right. I just noticed that the wind cover fell off. I got to go find it.
Yeah, that's what's happening probably. It's
Let me go find it.
No wind shoots.
You got
it's all right. It sounds fine. No. Stay there.
Okay.
Sounds fine. The kids probably have already eaten it by now anyway. Oh, candy. It's a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Moto G might actually sound better. The speakers. I'm trying to remember. I've had phones with surprisingly good speakers, and I'm trying to remember what they are. Best phone, smartphone, speakers. It's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. That's an example of the tech industry. The tech reviewers just aren't the same as their readers. The phones with the best speakers in 2022, Pixel 6. I think the Pixel. I wish I had my Pixel 6. I think it does sound good. They say the 13 Pro Max, the Asus ROG. This is from Phone Arena. The Asus ROG is a gaming phone, but that's going to be $1,000. Pixel 6 also $1,000. I would take a look at the Pixel 5A. I think that's a great phone. Not expensive. And I bet it has good sound. I don't have I think my 5 had very nice sound. 5A with 5G. Let me see what the price is here. $449. So it's right at the edge of your price points. He's been everywhere, man. He's Johnny Jet, our traveling guy. Joins us every week to talk about using technology to travel better. Hi, Johnny Jet, or should I say, aloha.
Aloha.
Are you in Oahu and Waikiki?
Yeah, I am right now. It's a beautiful day, still morning, and I'm going to take my kids out for a swim after this.
I can just see over your shoulder because I guess the windows are reflecting Waikiki Beach. I can see it looks beautiful. Doesn't it look good out there?
It's a beautiful day.
Nice. Well, thank you for joining us even on vacation. We appreciate that, Mr. Jet.
Hey, I'm never on vacation. My work is vacation. My travel is vacation.
Yeah, this is your work. Yeah. So a couple of stories in the travel news. It's interesting. Airbnb is helping Ukraine by taking reservations. Not that anybody wants to go to Ukraine.
Exactly. So actually, my buddy Shri sent me a text a few days ago saying, I just booked a Airbnb in Ukraine. And so what you do, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people now creating, fake homes in Ukraine. You got to look for ones that have been around for a while. And then you can try and book them out.
I don't care if they make a fake one. I'll still send them money because that's the idea. You're not going to go there. It's a donation.
No, I'm not talking about Ukrainians. I'm talking about, other people from other countries.
Oh, no,
creating
that's a good point.
Pretending they're
You want it to go to
Ukraine.
No, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. Yeah.
For sure. So
$2 million
but I heard they're booked already through summer.
$2 million they've raised so far, according to Airbnb. People don't plan on going there, but they just want to send them money.
Exactly, because then Airbnb has waived all their fees, and actually they created something where what they're really working on right now, Brian Chesky, the CEO, says that we need help in is finding homes in Poland, Germany, Hungary, and Romania for nearby, because everyone's, the whole million
all the
people
refugees,
have left. So, they have a organization where you can donate to that, and I think Airbnb is also ponying up a lot of money for that as well. So I think it's a great idea, and I'm hoping that, we can take care of these people. I feel terrible. I mean, I debated about coming here to Hawaii, but we had this trip planned, and, you really just, I've asked a lot of different travel experts because I had a lot of reader questions this week asking, should I go to Europe this summer or this spring? And so I asked Rick Steves and Peter Greenberg, and they all agree with me saying, you know what? Travel, sorry if you can hear that motorcycle. Travel has to go on. I mean, life has to go on. And, if you don't travel, you're really going to hurting other businesses and livelihoods.
Well, you know where you could go? You could go to Alaska. I hear that there's going to be a really nice
great cruise.
July 16th through the 23rd. And Alaska is going to be safe. It's going to be fun. Now that COVID is kind of fading away, I think this is going to be exciting. If you go to cruise.twit.tv, plug, you can join me and Paul Thurrott from our Windows show. We're taking a bunch of people from our podcast network on a Alaskan adventure, and I just checked, and there's some cabins left. We've booked more than 100, but there's some cabins left. So
you better book them, because I think a lot of places in America again are going to be packed.
They're coming back.
I think
coming back.
Well, not only people are ready to travel, but I think a lot of people are spooked now about going to Europe, which I think is a shame, because you can take out a map, Ukraine is away from most of Western Europe and Southern Europe, or northern. So
it's pretty far east. Yeah.
Definitely.
So
as
what
Rick Steves said in his thing, it's the same thing as like Florida being away from Guatemala.
Right.
It's
right. How hard was it to get into Hawaii? They still have a lot of restrictions. You have to get tested.
They do, but they're actually ending today, some of them. So today they're ending that, when I go into a restaurant or check into my hotel, I have to show my proof of vaccination or a negative test and my ID. That's ending today. But to get into Hawaii, what's ending on March 26th is that you no longer have to upload your COVID test or fill out the Hawaii form if you're domestic. International travelers still do. But this is a big deal too, because it really was kind of confusing and time consuming, especially when I was traveling with my two kids, because 5-year-olds and above need to show proof of vaccination or negative test. But my 2-year-old did not. But I still had to create a file for her. So if you are traveling between now and March 26th, make sure that every adult 18 and over has their own account through Hawaii.gov and email. You have to have your own separate email because my wife wasn't in my reservation. And what's nice is we flew United Airlines, by the way, and they had this through their app. You can verify this stuff by just clicking on the app, and you'll speak to a representative, and that saves a lot of time. So they make sure all your paperwork is completed.
How about restaurants? When you go into restaurants, you said you have to show your vaccine card, but is that going to stop on the 26th as well?
That's supposed to stop tomorrow.
Tomorrow
or tonight.
Okay.
Tonight.
Okay.
At midnight.
And so are people wearing masks? You don't have to wear masks?
No, masks are staying. So they have not announced a date. Indoors, you have to wear a mask, and pretty much everyone does.
Yeah. This is all going to slowly change, and again, knock on wood that there's not another variant that, like Omicron, put us back into quarantine. But I feel pretty positive about this. I feel like the sun is starting to come out. And,
and next week the government announces if they're going to extend the mask mandate for transportation for planes and all others, and I think they will, but there's a chance they might not. Yeah. So you don't know. But also, speaking of United Airlines, this week they introduced on their app, you can check your bags, doing it all through the app like Alaska Airlines. So that makes one less line to wait in, which
do you print a bag tag at home?
No, you do it at the airport.
You still have to print one when you get to the airport. Okay, that makes sense.
So and then you just drop it off after you show your ID. So it makes it quicker.
Yeah.
And also, speaking of apps, Starbucks this week announced that you can now at 70 airports worldwide order your coffee or food or whatever from Starbucks in advance. You couldn't before at airports, which is shocking. Because those lines are always the longest.
So
that's one way to alleviate however long.
There seems like there's Starbucks on every corner in the U.S. Too bad there's no Starbucks on planes. We should just put some Starbucks on the plane. And then
some airlines do offer it.
No, it's not the same. I see that. They have the Starbucks cup, and then they pour it out of the same pot as everything else. I don't think that's what I'm talking about. I think there should be a barista at the back. He should have a nice machine. He could make a Frappuccino.
Right. Agreed.
Johnny,
well, actually,
do you still have to avoid ice cubes today?
Well, yeah, actually, that was what I was going to tell you, that my travel tip today in my newsletter was to avoid 3 things on a plane. And one is coffee, ice cubes, and tea, because the hot water doesn't get that hot on the planes. I guess
they're not boiling it. They're not boiling.
The water they're using it is those tanks are not as clean as you would hope.
I've heard flight attendants say I would never drink the water on this plane, but I think it really varies. Some airlines really do keep their tanks nice and clean, and that water is clean. But the problem is you just don't know, do you?
You don't. And I remember, and I've seen flight attendants actually take bottles of water from first class, and after they finish them, they fill them up with the tank, and they pass them off as it's the bottled water. And I taste it. I'm like, listen, there is not a chance that's bottled water.
You can tell. You taste the chlorine immediately, yeah.
Yeah. One time I was on Cathay Pacific flying LA to Hong Kong, 14 and a half hours. And I'm like, this is definitely not bottled water.
Sounds like you should bring your own water. I'm not bringing ice. I'm sorry, but I guess I can drink a warm soda.
You actually can bring ice.
You're allowed to bring ice?
You can bring bottles through security as long as it's fully frozen.
Oh.
It has to be
now that's
frozen.
A tip. So you freeze the water in the bottle, bring it through security, and then as the flight goes on, it's melting, and now you have cold, fresh, bottled water you brought from home. Johnny, if that's the one thing you learned today, that's huge. You've been keeping it a secret. JohnnyJet.com. What? I had no idea. Today I learned. I was this many years old when I learned you could bring, so you can, if it's frozen, you can bring it through.
As long as it's fully frozen.
So you really got to make sure
frozen.
It stays.
So you need a cooler in your car if you have a long drive to the airport.
Right. And you know what? I should mention, I can mention it next week. The TSA actually has a really good Twitter handle where you can ask them anything during the week and they respond quick. and you can ask them those questions, or you can look on their website for that. But that is definitely.
But I would have never
allowed.
thought to even ask that. Can I bring my water if it's frozen?
Yes, you can.
That's because explosives don't freeze, or
you
know what it really is?
I guess so.
It's
Not
liquor.
explosive.
Liquor doesn't freeze.
That's true.
That's what it really
doesn't
is. They don't want you to bring
Okay.
your own liquor on board. Yeah, that's not. I can't. That's so weird. Okay, fully frozen bottle of water. Just go. Do you have to take it out and show the guy? I guess you do.
Yeah, because it's gonna. I would put it in a separate. I'd put it next to your
You have a
bag
little
in the bin.
Here's my
because
freezer
otherwise
bag.
they're gonna go through your bag. They're
From
gonna go
now
through
on,
your
when I
bag.
fly, I'm bringing frozen bottles of water with me.
Yeah.
I want to hear how it goes for you.
That's cray.
I was in the airport in London when that came out. When the liquid rule came into effect, it was just overnight because they actually thwarted a huge bomb plan. I mean, they were planning on bombing like I think a dozen planes between Europe and the U.S. back then. It was insane.
Wow.
Sorry, this is 1/25th frozen.
So that's the only trick, is not to have like even a teaspoon of melted. It has to be like frozen
It has to be
solid.
full. And you know what? And not all TSA agents are up to
so it's
up to date. So always kindly ask for a supervisor.
Right.
I've had that's happened to me many times with like baby formula when we were traveling with our kids. I'm like, sorry, you can bring this through. And they're like, okay, let me speak to a supervisor.
It
And then they're
says,
like, okay, you're through.
frozen liquid items, this is from the TSA screening rules, are allowed through the checkpoint as long as they are frozen solid when presented for screening. Frozen liquid items are partially melted, slushy, or have any liquid at the bottom of the container. They must meet 311 liquid requirements. So it has to be only 3 ounces of
if any of it's unfrozen.
Right.
Got it.
What? That's incredible.
Who knew? Johnny Jet knew.
Who knew that you would like this tip? I would have mentioned it years ago.
I don't think anybody knows that.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
I mean, am I wrong, chat room? Isn't that bizarre? Oh, it's the same advice given on your first day in prison. Always bring frozen bottles of water.
Is that a joke?
I would hope.
I think it's a joke. That's unbelievable. Yes, we're now transporting frozen water to the airport.
Leo's going to buy a special cooler.
I'm going to get my
frozen
airport
water
cooler.
Yeah.
Wow, because then you can drink your own water.
You can get some dry ice.
You don't need
on the way
ice.
there.
It's cold.
Yeah.
Can you bring dry ice through the check?
No, you can't bring dry ice.
No, but you could put it in your cooler for the trip to the airport.
Yes, leave it in the car. Thank you, Johnny. Have fun. When are you coming home?
Thank you. Soon. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was it
My
a short
kids
trip?
are begging me to stay. They're like, please, can we
they
live
are.
here?
They're not stupid. That's what I say every time I go to Hawaii. Honey, can we live here? She says no.
Yeah. I'm thinking about moving here.
Oh, I would move there. I love it. Except I think I might go island crazy.
I'm okay with that
I get
right
a little
now.
queasy about the idea that I'm thousands of miles from anywhere, in the middle of the ocean.
A huge body of water is very close to you.
Yeah. All right, Johnny. Have fun.
All right, take care.
Aloha. Thank you. Leo Laporte. That's the Gorillas with a Z.
With a Z, yeah.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. That's Micah Sargent, the other tech guy.
Hello.
The other guy. I like it. 8888 Ask Leo if you have a question, a comment, a suggestion, if you want to talk high tech. Victor's on the line from Glendale, California. Hi, Victor.
Hi, Leo. How you doing?
Great. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I have, now 3 printers that I want to get rid of.
3 is 3 too many. Go ahead. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I wanted to know if they have a memory in them that I need to...
Oh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. No. The answer is no. You don't have to do anything to wipe that printer. There is, though, the only thing I'm thinking, no, I wouldn't worry about it. Printers print an invisible code on the paper that the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms can read because it's to prevent counterfeiting. So they can tell what printer a printout came from, or ransom notes or whatever for law enforcement. And so that code is basically your printer's serial number. So don't sell your printer to a counterfeiter or a kidnapper, and I think you're fine.
Okay. Well, they don't really print well, so I
think they're going to the landfill, aren't they? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I read something that all-in-one printers store a little bit of information.
Sometimes they do. Usually that's the big ones for the office. They'll have hard drives and they can store information. Because you're printing large, they have their own built-in spoolers in effect. But these are consumer home printers, right? Not big old fancy things. Yeah.
Right.
I think they're office machines. Nowadays, if they had any storage, it would be RAM, not a hard drive, and it would be volatile. As soon as the printer turns off, it's gone. So I think you're all right. No need to shred your printer.
Okay.
If you want to rest super easy, you can print some stuff that doesn't matter. But
I may be completely wrong on this. Doug M in our chat room says, my Epson Workforce has some internal storage. The question is, what kind of storage? Is it a drive? Is it flash? Or is it RAM?
Yeah, what I was reading is that a lot of them have both volatile and non-volatile.
Really?
And the good thing about the non-volatile is that it's a circular buffer. So you could just go online and find, I don't know, the script to the B movie.
There you go.
And print it out, and it'll erase whatever was stored in there.
And then, that's
and then you have the script to the B movie. So you can
that's probably a spooler. So in order to cut costs on printers, most of the modern printers, which are so cheap these days, do the spooling on the computer side. So they have that's why you have that thing called a print spooler. The reason is, if you didn't have some way of storing the pages, you wouldn't be able to go on. The printer would have to wait for each individual byte to come from your computer. You'd be stuck, sending the data to the printer. So computer printer drivers usually have a spooler built in, which is an area of storage locally that they then spool it out, and they run in the background spooling it out to the printer. And I wouldn't be surprised to speed things up. Printers have small amounts of storage, but
very small.
I don't think it's going to be much, because that adds greatly to the cost of the machines. So I think, these $90 inkjets, I doubt very much they have any storage in them. But maybe that's interesting. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is something you should pay attention to.
If you don't want to wake up with nightmares about then just go ahead and print something out.
Print a couple of pages of nothing. I wish you could do that without using any paper or ink.
That would be nice. I guess, print out some blank pages. Go into Microsoft Print or Microsoft Paint and don't do anything, and then just print that page out. And
put one dot on it.
Yeah, sending out paper. Yeah, there you go. Put one dot on it.
That's a really interesting question. Now, if there's an expert out there who really knows how this stuff works, I'm going to guess that there can't be much if there is, because that's expensive, and they want these things to be as cheap as possible. Chris is on the line. He's calling from is it Menifee, California?
Menifee.
Oh, I thought it's Menifee, but she wrote Menes for some reason.
Oh, I'm right down here by Temecula.
I know where Menifee is. Yeah. Hi, welcome. She wrote an F instead of an S instead of an F.
Yes.
So what's going on?
Got to get a hold of.
Well, I know it's we only have 6 lines and they're always busy. 5 lines and they're always busy. Yeah. Welcome. Glad you got in.
So this is an interesting one. I don't know if I've ever heard. I listen to you all the time. My wife and I recently purchased a vacation/retirement home in the Philippines.
Oh, nice.
And she spent a few months over there. They're doing the remodel, but ran out of time. What we want to do is our intention is to put a camera system, security system inside and outside so we can monitor, from over here. But here's my question. I wouldn't know what type of system to get for there. I have a system here at my house, but when we hooked it up, we did it with our internet here. So would we physically have to be over there, with our phones to connect up to where we can monitor it over here?
No, it's global. So there's different levels of ways to do this, depending on how much you want. If you want a camera that's always on, that you can look at any time, then you obviously need good internet and you need a power cable. And that will, Nest cameras, for instance, which are Google's cameras, that's how they work. And I can check my Nest cameras from anywhere in the world, and I have, to see what's going on, because that's just the public internet. You just go to the My Nest website, and you can see your cameras. Those tend to be expensive, and they use a lot of bandwidth. If you want to save money, it depends what your needs are. If you want to know if something happened, you can get cameras that only record when there's motion or sound. And that'll save you internet bandwidth, and they'll fire up if you log into them, but they won't be on all the time. So that's the kind of the middle ground. And then there are some that only fire up and record locally. I would recommend, for instance, these are the least expensive cameras, the Wyze, WYZE Cam 3. These are $36, so you could put a bunch of cameras in there. And Wyze Cam 3. But there are some, there's some negatives to it. You can put a memory card in there, which means you can have them record to the memory card and check at any time. I think they've added, correct me if I'm wrong, Micah, I think they've added a subscription. They used to be, they didn't charge you at all for internet access.
There is a subscription called Cam Plus. You don't have to have it, though.
So what do you get if you don't have it?
So Cam Plus gives you the ability to see person detection and all that kind of stuff. But without it, you still do get motion trigger alerts and sound alerts.
So you'll get an alert on your phone that says, I see motion. And you can then log into that camera remotely, right? And see what's going on. And you can even talk to the person and say, get out of my house. Or listen to them. What are we going to steal now, Joe? That kind of thing. So, I think for the price, there's nothing that comes close to this. And I think they're pretty darn good cameras.
They're very good. That's what I use. They're fantastic. And in fact, they have Wyze solar panels now. So you can connect a solar panel to your camera and just let the sun
They don't have to plug it in at all.
Yep.
And because these aren't always on, they use a lot less power. But they also use a lot less internet. The other devices, the Nest cams, are always streaming. And so that actually uses a significant amount of internet. And I don't know what your internet situation is in the Philippines, but I'm guessing that you might have bandwidth caps. You might even pay for the amount of data you've used. So
let me throw a curveball in there. Where the house is located, it's in a rainforest area. So we want outside cameras as well, but those are going to have to be waterproof.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wyze makes those as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This company is a Seattle company, and I think they saw an opportunity to undercut the big boys like Google by making inexpensive stuff. And they do watches now, they do headphones, but they also have a Wyze Cam Outdoor that is designed to do exactly that in the rainforest. You're going to move to the rainforest. I'm so jealous.
Thank you.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Have a nice time. Yeah, they're a little more expensive. Those are $60. They even have them in camo, so the monkeys won't see that you're watching them or whatever's out there. So where are you going to move in the rainforest?
Well, it's Laguna, Philippines. It's an hour and a half or so outside of Manila. There's a lot of waterfalls.
Sounds wonderful.
Similar to like the rainy side of Oahu.
Yeah. Wow.
But,
and is it fair? I mean, it's probably inexpensive, right?
The house wasn't, but yeah, it is expensive to live over there.
Yeah. And is there good medical care and stuff? Are you going to retire there, you said?
That's the kicker. No, there's not, right? You have to pay cash for everything over there. Yeah. So the idea will be to spend a few months over there, and you'll keep our insurance over here, and come back periodically.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Sounds really nice.
Camera,
yes.
If I can ask one more question, okay? I know you're on.
No, yeah, that's what we're here for.
Okay, so then obviously I guess I would buy the system over here, ship it over there. Her nephew's an electrician. Have him hook it up, set everything up for us, and then basically he just activates it, and we can go online and access it there as well.
Yep. What you want to do, you don't need an electrician, by the way. He just plugs it in. But what you'll probably want to do is set them up with an account while you've got them, so they're all ready to go. And then you just bring them in. The one thing he'll have to do is log them into your Wi-Fi.
Okay.
But you already have the account on there and everything. Yeah, these are really great. How long have you had yours, Micah?
Oh, more than a year.
So they haven't worn out or anything.
No, that's what I like. And there's a lot of wind and dust that gets on them where I am. They're IP65, and
so you have the outdoor ones?
Yeah, I've got
nice.
I've got a couple.
Oh, the version 3 is IP65. So even the version 3, you wouldn't want to put them in the rain, but you could put them under the eaves probably or something.
Yes, that's the idea.
Yeah,
that's the idea.
Yeah.
And then I have an Arlo system here at my house.
Arlo's good too. Yeah.
I'm assuming it's going to be the same operation. I can log into each camera individually. Otherwise, it stays in a rest mode.
Yes, I think that's exactly how it works. Right?
It should be.
You log into the individual camera. I've never had more than one of these.
I'm not super familiar with
You only have
Arlo.
one. No, but he's talking about the Wise. Does it work the same as the Arlos?
Oh, so could you repeat? I missed the question.
So you can log into each camera separately, right?
Yeah, I mean, but there's an app and you can tap on each individually and see the view from that camera. Yeah, each one of them has their own feed.
It works like my Arlo.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to the Arlo, actually.
I think that helps me there. Could I sneak in one more unrelated question?
You bet.
Do you have time?
Sure.
Okay, so I have my company's phone. They sent me an iPhone Mini 12, and it does not work with my wireless charger. I have an iPhone 8 for personal use, and it works with my charger.
The Mini may not be wireless. let me just check. I have, that's funny. I wouldn't be surprised if the Mini were not wireless. No, it does wireless charging. I take it back.
I think mine will not work. It will not charge.
What's your wireless charger brand?
Give me a second.
So the Mini works with the MagSafe. So it may be. So the way all of these work is there's a little copper charging coil in the back of this thing. And if it gets disconnected or damaged, it won't charge. So it may just be that there's something in the Mini, that Mini is messed up. One thing I would try, this is crazy, but I've had this problem with iPhone several times, reboot it.
I hadn't thought about that.
I've had iPhones stop charging wirelessly. I shut it off. I don't mean just turn off the screen, but press the screen off and the volume up button until you get the slide to power down. Power it all the way down, then turn it on again. And I've actually had it fix I've had exactly that problem where it wouldn't wirelessly charge, and it works again.
I'll have to try that because I
either that or it could be some physical damage. I mean, I'm not saying it's not.
Well, the phone is brand new. But I have dropped it a couple of times.
Yeah, it could be disconnected. But try rebooting it. Believe it or not.
I will when I get off here.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I agree with you. I've spent a lot of time in Hawaii over the years with my company. Months at a time over there, and there's no way I could live over there. Okay,
do you get that squirrely? I mean, I love the climate. I love the people. But do you get that squirrely feeling like you're thousands of miles away from land?
What killed it? Yes, what killed it for me?
Yeah.
The first time I rode a scooter from all the way around the island, to the North Point, and then back up to the other side, and I did it in 4 hours. I realized I could never live there.
I'm on a little island in the middle of the Pacific.
So small. Ooh,
there's a name for it. It's island fever. I mean, it. Some people it happens, but the Philippines, even though it's an island, it's big enough you're not going to have that feeling.
Right. So when we fly in through Manila, and we're only an hour away from Manila. Plus Laguna, it's a pretty good sized city.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
I'm really jealous. I would love to live in the tropics. Oh, I'm jealous.
My wife did it as our 12th anniversary. Didn't tell me about it until it was already done.
Oh, wow. She's a keeper. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
I wanted to own a home in the Philippines, but wow.
Wow, that's great. Well, congratulations. Let me know how it works, Chris.
Hey, and I appreciate the help. That was easier than I thought. I was thinking it was going to have to be one of us going over there, or
No. It's
these days.
It's easy. Yeah. Yeah, really, it's come a long way. The Arlo and the Nest were early days stuff. Wise has really revolutionized the industry. Everybody's changing now because of it.
Oh, and by the way, I hear you from time to time talking about UPS backup power systems.
Yes, sir.
I that's what I do for a living. I work on the larger model UPSs.
Whole home or just big ones for networks and stuff, network operation centers and stuff?
Commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I say my company's name, would that be bad or no?
No, say it.
They're called Eaton Corporation.
EATON or ETON?
Yeah. EATON.
EATON. All right.
Yeah, we do UPSs. So I work on systems 5 kVA.
Wow.
5 kW all the way.
Oh, yeah. These are big. So you're an electrician yourself?
Not an electrician, just a UPS engineer.
You know enough not to blow yourself up.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, if you hear me say anything wrong, Chris, you call and let me know.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys, and thank you. And that was great information. It's going to be a lot easier than I thought.
It's a pleasure.
Enjoy.
Take care.
You guys too. Enjoy the weekend.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Well, hey. How are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy with my little penguin pal, Micah Sargent. No. Micah Sargent is here, but he is not. He is tech guy too. But I did want to say, Micah, among his many, many talents, he's an accomplished cook, a brilliant PC guy, a podcaster, soon to be a radio host. I haven't told you this, but I'm taking a vacation and you're taking over. And he also, I didn't know this, is an expert in the textile arts.
Thank you. That's very kind.
Well,
knitting and crocheting, yes.
Knitting and crocheting. So this is a crocheted...
That is a completely crocheted penguin with a custom hat that says "I Heart Linux" across the brim of the cap.
It's the cutest little thing I ever saw. You made this whole thing, huh?
I did. Yeah.
It's really cute. So the penguin was a pattern.
Yes, the penguin was a pattern. I like to look on Etsy to find different patterns.
Yeah.
And then what I have done as
How
I've
did you know how to make a hat?
So just having done it long enough, you know kind of how you make a cone shape, how you make the brim, how you do all that kind of stuff. And so I did that, and the bottom of it has some washers in it to give it weight, that little base. So basically I took the washers and then I crocheted around them to make that base.
And you know what I really like? He's slightly leaning back, which is exactly what you want, because it's like I'm surprised you're using Linux. Something like that. He's surprised. He's a surprised penguin. I think that is so adorable. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
That was very kind of you. 88, I wish I could share one with every single person listening, but then...
I wish I could make them
you'd be very
they
busy.
take a long time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking when I look at this. It's like, wow, you've been using your pandemic time wisely. 8888 Ask Leo. The phone number, if you want to talk about high tech with Micah and me, well, I'd love to talk with you. Chris is on the line from Denver, Colorado, our next caller. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Leo. So, reason I called is my wife gave me an older MacBook Pro, and there was an app I wanted to put on it. In order to do so, I had to, do quite a bit of operating system upgrade. Went from OS X 10 to Mojave and now to Monterey. And, I felt like a kid on Christmas Day. It's working great.
Yay! Nobody ever calls to say everything's going great. Oh, wait a minute. There's more?
No. The question I have is, when do you know that you should get a new machine if you can keep on...
They'll stop you. They'll stop you. In fact, it's one of the most annoying things. My wife has an older iMac that she uses at home in her home office, and it keeps saying, "Would you like Monterey? Would you like Monterey? Monterey's great." Because and then she does it and it says, "No, you can't install Monterey. What are you, crazy?" So I think there's maybe a bug somewhere where Apple shouldn't be recommending it, but they will not let you install it at some point. And so you have a recent enough Mac that you are able to put Monterey on it, but there are a lot of Macs, only 7 or 8 years old even, that cannot go up to Monterey. They're stuck at Mojave. So good news that you have a more modern Mac. That's great.
And it works amazing. The app that I wanted to do was Microsoft OneDrive, and I was pleasantly surprised that it works well on the Macintosh as well. So.
Yeah, the fact Microsoft just updated that so it works with Apple's new silicon chips as well, M1 chips. So finally, Microsoft, they do very good support now for Apple.
So you just keep on trucking until
keep updating.
Let you do what you need to.
Yeah, at some point it will say, it's too old, and even then, you're still getting security updates and so forth. Apple's very liberal with that policy. Unlike Google with Chrome OS and Android, Apple's pretty good about updating stuff. So, yeah, no reason not to continue to update. You'll get the offer, or you'll see it in the news, or I'll mention, Mac OS 12 is here, and then you can try the update. What year? Do you know what year that came out?
I think it's about 7 years old.
Yeah, you're probably, this may be your last update. So another thing you can do, there are a number of sites that talk about Macs and what the last operating system you can use on it is. I'm trying to remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, is it this old Mac? I can't remember.
Yeah, it seemed like it was like 10 revisions ago.
Yeah, lowendmac.com.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so what they'll do is they'll have all the models of Macs, and then they'll say, well, here's the latest version of Mac OS you can put on there and all that.
Cool, great. Well, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. It's great. Somebody called with good news. Woo! Whoa! I don't know what to do now.
We should have like a horn or something for that.
Exactly.
Thank you for the call, Chris.
Take it easy, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye. Yeah, I mean, Apple deserves a little bit of praise for that. Actually, Microsoft's pretty good too. They don't. I don't think they ever cut you off. In fact, this whole Windows 11 not working on older machines thing is upsetting to people because it's not something Microsoft normally does. In fact, it's really upsetting to people like my friend Steve Gibson, who does our security show. He's a geek, right? Geeks are very literal-minded, very black and white. It's either yes or no, on or off, 1 or 0. And it's offensive. He doesn't want Windows 11. In fact, he even wrote a program so that Windows 10 would stop bugging you about Windows 11. But it also offends him that he can't have Windows 11 if he wants it. And his point is there is no technical reason that Microsoft said, no, you have to have an 8th generation or later Intel processor, and you have to have this Intel Security TPM, Trusted Platform Module, version 2.0, or you can't use Windows 11. He said it works fine on older Intel processors. It works fine if you don't have TPM2. This is arbitrary. That's the word that geeks like Steve don't like. This is arbitrary. You should be able to upgrade to it if you want to. It'll work.
Is it truly arbitrary?
Yes. Well, so I think what Steve has uncovered, and Paul Thurrott and Mary Jo Foley of our Windows show concur, is that really Microsoft made this somewhat arbitrary cutoff because they kind of want to encourage people to get new computers and get newer computers because newer computers will be more secure. It will run better. And they also wanted to give a little juice to the PC market. They were afraid that it was going to start to tail off. It didn't, as it turns out. And I don't think that was because of Windows 11. I think that was because people are still buying computers, even though, the quarantine's mostly over, people are still getting to work from home and they want some good systems at home. So PC sales are fine. But I think Microsoft was worried that the PC sales were going to go down once quarantine was over, and they wanted to give people a reason to go back and buy a new computer. So they said, I know what we'll do. We have this minor update to Windows 10 that we were going to put out. Let's call it Windows 11. That makes, because when you have there's a new version of Windows app, people often will buy a new computer to get it, right? That's the way it works in the Windows world. So, we'll call it Windows 11. But wait, but it'll run just the same. It'll run as anything Windows 10 will run because it is Windows 10 with some cosmetic changes. We got a problem here. I know. We'll tell people they can't run it unless they have a newer PC. That'll help with sales. So it doesn't. There is no technical reason it couldn't. And what really offends Steve is Microsoft, Paul Thurrott right now, our Windows guy, is that Microsoft will put a little thing on there. If you install it, you can install it on older computers, but it'll put a little thing on your window that says, this is running on an older computer. We don't guarantee it. No reason for that. It's Windows 10. Windows 11 is Windows 10 with some nice, pretty new features. No, anything Windows 10 can run on Windows 11 should be able to run on. But Microsoft arbitrarily made that up. How did I get into this? Why do I care? Who knows? 8888, ask Leo.
Sometimes you just got to rant.
Sometimes you just got to rant. 888-827-5536, toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. We will get back to the phones. More of your calls coming up. Dick Debartolo, too, right after this. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo. We're both lead singers. That's the problem, Micah.
That's what it is.
We need some backup.
Yep.
We'd be some backup people. We're both lead singers. 8888. Ask Leo. Fred's on the line from Upland. Whoa, California. Hello, Fred.
Hey, how you doing, Leo?
I am good. Welcome. We're getting some. Are you a ham, Fred? We're getting some single sideband in there.
No, I've got it on my wireless here. Let me
just get a little close to the base station. It's kind of fun. I feel like we're, breaker 19. We're gonna shampoo you in a 6 o'clock position.
Okay, how's this?
No, much better. Thank you. What's up?
Okay, so what I'm doing is putting in a swimming pool, and I have a
we have fancy listeners. I'm moving to the Philippines.
Got a house here.
Okay, good. You putting in a swimming pool? Love it.
Yeah, the city requires us to put in a
5-foot fence
around the pool.
Yep.
Yeah, but I want something more proactive to that. What I want is perimeter detection and splash detection.
Oh, what a good idea.
For tech solution to that, because anybody can climb over a fence.
Right. You still have to have the fence, of course. That's the ordinance. But, yeah, they call it an attractive nuisance. And
that's what they call me.
Yeah, just like you, Micah. And the kids, they see the pool, and they'll climb over the fence to get in there, and you don't want them to because you're liable for anything that happens. So we want a camera or some sort of alert system that will detect somebody coming into the area, like geofencing, and or splashing. Yeah, I see you looking, Mike. Are you having any success?
No, unfortunately.
There are.
Yeah, I do have the Ring camera system.
Right.
So I do have outdoor cameras. I'm going to install somewhere in the back for that.
There are devices that you can put in the pool called pool safety systems that sit in the pool and detect when it's basically the splash thing you were looking for, and a big alarm will go off. So that's probably for the splash better than trying to get it with a camera listening for a splash. They said the Amazon Echoes were going to be able to hear glass breaking, like somebody's breaking in, and it's a little annoying because I get constant alerts that some glass is broken in the bathroom. No glass broke in the bathroom. Maybe somebody, I don't know, what did they do? They did something that fooled the Echo. I think they're not yet to that quality. But these pool guards are probably a good idea because they're sitting in there and they're basically going to detect wave motion, and I presume will be reliable.
And they are very loud. The alarm is loud, so it would sort of
120
get people
dBs.
to run away.
Here's I'm looking on Amazon. Pool Patrol, Lifebuoy, Pool Guard, Pool Eye, above ground immersion pool alarm, battery powered or safety remote receiver, ASTM compliant water motion sensor. That's how these work. That's only $115. That's not bad. So
the perimeter detection too, because we actually have a pretty defined perimeter around it.
So what I do with, and you could do these with the cameras you already have. I don't know if you've tried this. The Nest Cams have ability to determine zones. So you can, in effect, draw a line. This is what I do with because for instance, one of my nests is in the front of the house and can see the street. I don't want to be alarmed when a car goes by. So I said, don't alert me with zone 1. That's zone 1. And I've set up zone 2, alert me when somebody comes up to my window or goes in my front door. So I think that, which cameras, you said you had the Nests?
Ring.
I know my Ring doorbell did that, so I bet you the Ring cameras can do that. So look and see if you can set up a zone that is your perimeter and not have alerts if somebody's standing outside that perimeter, but have alerts if somebody's standing inside it.
Yeah, they have like it'll do left, middle, and right and then you set the amount of feet between them.
Right. The Nest actually is a little bit better in that regard. You actually can draw the zone.
Yeah, I do like the drawing features of the Nest. The problem is with all of those, they are a little bit
not perfect.
They're lacking on speed. I can't think of the term right now. They're not as
latent.
Yes, their latency is a little too high if you are looking for like sort of an instant bit of knowledge. And I think that's kind of hard without going to IR.
But if kids are coming into your backyard and kind of saying, "We're going to climb this fence," you'll know in time.
Yeah,
you'll know in plenty of time to go, "Hey, you kids, get away from the pool."
Yeah, we do have the front gates monitored. But then the next thing is the splash detection. So if something goes in when we don't expect it,
I'm so glad you're doing this. I think this is actually very responsible of you, to be honest. Is you're going above and beyond the ordinance, which I think is good.
Yeah, I have grandkids, so they're going to want to be in the water.
So that's right.
I want to know if they go in when I'm not looking.
Yep.
We've got links for you in the show notes, which you can find at techguylabs.com. And so you'll be able to see what we talked about here on the show. And there's a great guide from Swim University that has all sorts of information on this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's great. That's really the thing I'm looking for.
Perfect.
On getting what that is, because I can't spend enough on this stuff.
Yeah, I'm really glad you care. That's great. Thank you, Fred.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Take care.
Bye.
Grandpa Fred, go make sure the kids don't fall in. It's the whole premise of this season's Curb Your Enthusiasm. Don't be a Larry David. Don't be a guy. He's trying to get rid of his 5-foot fence. He doesn't want a 5-foot fence. It's a somewhat drawn out joke, but it's the same premise. Ray in Swansea, Massachusetts. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Ray.
Hi, Yo. How you doing today?
I am great. How are you, Ray?
Good. Nice to talk to you. I talked to you before. Listened to you for a long time.
Nice.
Thank you very much for taking the call.
I know Swansea well.
Yes, I figured you would.
Yeah.
Close to Providence.
Just up the road a piece.
Yep. I'm having trouble with an iPad and iPhone since the updates come out lately. I've always had them in dark mode or black wallpapers, but when I do go to certain sites or my email, it has all these white blocks with black letters in them. And I
that's
can't read
annoying.
that. I'm visually challenged. I'm legally blind. I can see a little bit. I have a contact to see like 17 inches away. So it helps with that. But
so you prefer dark mode, but what you don't want is this kind of piebald mode where it's a little bit dark, a little bit white, a little bit of a mess.
Right. When I go to my email, I check my email. It's all black on the page, but then there's white square with all the information that they give you on it. And that's frustrating. The same thing with websites.
I think this is a limitation of dark mode. I mean, so when people started doing dark mode, which is essentially light text on a dark background, it was all over the place. It was a mess. And in fact, I think Apple avoided dark mode for a long time because the problem is you can say we're in dark mode, the operating system will do it right, but you can't get all the apps to do it right. And I think that that's really what you're seeing here is that there are pages or parts of the website or parts of an email that can't be changed. They're images. Yep. And so they're not taking that advice and they're not going into dark mode. And I don't think there's anything you can do about it, actually. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Yeah, I don't.
I'm curious what email, if you're using the built-in mail app for iOS?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, built-in mail app for iOS.
I'm going to guess it's the same problem with both web pages and the email. You know, the built-in email app displays mail as a web page. So if there's images, you can have fonts, all the stuff you could do on a web page. And I'm going to guess if there is on a web page or similarly in an HTML-based email, a region that isn't in fact just text, but is an image or is something a little different.
It's too often.
It can't change it.
Yep.
It just can't
that
fix
white
it.
box is like it. Correct.
Yeah. So if it were just text on a background, you can, with the styling information, and this is how dark mode works, you could say, okay, make that text light, make the background dark, but an image you can't do anything about. Yeah.
I've had Android, the S9. I could do everything with that. I could change the font color. I could do everything.
And the same emails and the same pages work for you on the Android or no?
Well, I changed to Apple last.
So you don't know. That's right.
The whole family did it, so that's why I did it. And
yeah.
I'm getting frustrated. So
there are a few third-party mail, and this is the problem, is that it should be working in your first-party client. I'm sorry that it doesn't. There are a few third-party mail apps like AirMail that has a special renderer for these emails.
Oh, that actually changes it.
It has a dark mode email. So
I was going to say, Apple's probably doing it better than anybody, but maybe not.
Unfortunately, no. And the big problem is how many newsletters these days and all the emails that come in are these sort of graphic, visual emails. That's kind of the big issue here. And unfortunately, folks are not considering the accessibility of the situation and making sure that those are working for more folks.
So that's really interesting. So it's easier for you to see it in dark mode. It's not
dark mode with yellow print is better.
Yeah,
yellow print
it's good contrast.
More than the white is too bright.
Yeah.
Do you use any of the built-in accessibility color filters that the iPhone has?
I don't know how to use. I tried using them, but I did the yellow font app they had. I paid for that, but some fonts are yellow, but not all. It depends on what font the manufacturer's using.
Okay.
But I haven't got into that, the other thing. But
yeah, we'll include a link again at techguylabs.com that will point you to where you need to go in your iPhone to set up some special color filters that could help with the situation.
Yes, that'll help.
Awesome.
Just don't want to throw the iPhone away, that's all.
Totally understand.
No. Yeah, at least now you're a blue bubble with everybody, or a green bubble. I can't remember. You're one of the right color bubbles.
Blue.
You're a blue bubble along with the rest of the family. None of that Android stuff. Which Android phone did you have?
I had the S9. I had the Note 8, I think it was.
Yeah.
I was thinking about going back to it. I came close to thinking about going back now. I don't, because it was easy for me to deal with. I could change everything.
Maybe you should. I mean, there's no reason to be loyal to the iPhone if it's not working for you.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna put some Apple tech notes and stuff at techguylabs.com. Micah's the guy who puts that in there, and
very good.
Maybe it'll help. And if it doesn't, this new. I love my S22. My new Galaxy S22 is wonderful.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
That's what I want to try. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, this is the Ultra, so it's just like the Note. It's got a little stylus. I just love it.
Yeah, that's what I like. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the heck with your family.
Don't be afraid to switch
Don't
back.
be afraid. Nobody's going to yell at you for having an Android phone.
They send their text messages. They don't go through right. That was
I
the problem.
know.
Yeah.
That's getting better now. You can do the reactions and stuff. They've changed that a little bit.
And honestly, it's so important that you're able to read what you have in front of you. That's more important than anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. Thank you.
I hope we can help you. Yeah. Again, check out those notes. We've got some great guides there.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you very much.
Wave at my mom over there. She's just over the river there.
Yeah, she's not that far.
She isn't. All right, take care.
Thank you, Leo. Bye-bye now.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. Micah Sargent's here. It's so nice to have you in studio.
I'm so glad to be here.
The pandemic is now well and truly over. We can go back. Lisa and I went out to a restaurant with there were people in there, and we were in the same room with them. It was amazing. It was just an amazing experience. Elsa is next. She's on the line from Playa del Rey, California. Hi, Elsa.
Hey, Leo. How are you?
Oh, I am great. How are you?
I'm great, too.
Good.
Except I have a little problem that I'm hoping maybe you can give me some insight.
Okay.
So I had a problem that came up when I did my latest update. I was unable to start printing from my desktop to my HP printer. And then I looked and realized that my desktop is 10 years old. So I thought maybe it's too old and it's not letting me do that. But then somebody said that maybe it's the printer. Because that's 5 years old. And I'm trying to figure out if it's the chicken or the egg. Is it the computer or my printer?
So everything worked up to a point.
Yes.
When did it stop working?
When I did my last update with Microsoft, I guess.
So you did a Windows update, and then
Correct.
all of a sudden the printer stopped working.
Correct.
Are you on Windows 10?
Yes, because I can't do a Windows 11 update.
I know, because, you got to buy a new computer. But Windows 10 is fine. In fact, it's going to be fully supported till 2025, so you've got plenty of time. Don't worry about that. What's the printer?
HP 5660 Envy.
Okay, HP Envy. That's the printer?
Yes.
Okay. All in one. Okay. I think it should work just fine with Windows 10. So I don't think that's it. Sometimes updates break things, but not on purpose. I think the thing you want to do is go to hp.com. And there's right there on the front page, it says drivers. And you're going to want to get the Windows 10 software for the 5660. And you'll be able to, you've done that.
I've done that. I can get to a certain point and then I need help, but I've done that so many times because
and it didn't fix it
before. And because I've been able to fix it before, but this time I spent hours doing the same thing, and I go back
frustrating.
and you can't talk to anybody at HP because they don't want to talk to you unless you.
Nobody wants to talk to you except me. That's why I'm here. Everybody else, I'm too busy. I can't help you. I can't fix it. I can't. Interesting. It's not. I don't think it's your computer's too old or it's not too old if it's running Windows 10. It's old. It's new enough, right? And the printer isn't that old, is it? I mean, it's
5 years old. In tech time, I don't know what's old anymore.
It doesn't. Yeah, but this isn't. If it's worn out, it would break. It would not. Something else. It wouldn't just say I can't print.
My printer's older than yours, and it still works.
My printer's older than both of yours. I got printers older than you.
So that's what I do. I send it to my phone, and then I print it. But I'm like, okay, I don't want to.
Well, that's a good piece of information. So your phone still works.
Yes. It prints off of my iPad and my iPhone.
Okay, so the printer's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you need HP's Print and Scan Doctor.
Did it.
And nothing.
Nothing. And I don't know what maybe the only other thing I
So did it, when you ran the diagnostics, did it say anything, or it said, no, everything's fine?
No, it said there's an error, we can't help you.
Oh, perfect. It's broke.
But it doesn't tell me what. And so I went back to to HP, and I went back and forth. But when I go to my computer, my desktop, and put it in, it says driver unavailable. When I try to...
Oh, interesting.
Driver unavailable.
You're getting driver unavailable. Okay, that's useful. That information is useful. I was going to suggest you try a new cable. Do you connect it via cable or via Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. And okay, and the printer, is on Wi-Fi because you can print to it from the phone, so that connection is good. And you're on the Wi-Fi, your internet's working fine, so your computer connection is good. I think what you want to do is what my initial advice is to go get the new driver. But before you do that, you want to get rid of every trace of the old one. Because I think if you're installing the new driver on top of the old one, you're not fixing it. So I think you want to uninstall the old driver completely. And that means going to the add removes programs, or whatever they call it now, and removing it. But then also, if you hit Windows key X, you can go to the device drivers, and you want to. It's what do they call it? I can't remember. The services, something like that. You want to go and you want to make sure that you look at the device manager, look for that printer, delete it, any driver attached with it. Uninstall, get rid of every trace of it that you can. And,
I have.
You've done all this.
I've done all the
magic.
You're smart. You knew exactly what to do. That's why you're calling us, because you've done all the smart things. You've done everything. Boy.
I was hoping you'd tell me, well, it's your computer. You have to get rid of your...
Oh, I can tell you that. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. What was I thinking? Oh, no, it's your computer.
Hold on, I just checked the time, and it's time to get a new computer.
It's time to get a new computer. So old. You should get a new computer. If I can tell you that. I don't think it's true, but I can tell you. So tell me the error again.
It kept saying driver unavailable when I tried to install it back, because I uninstalled it and removed it. And, sometimes even when I try to install it to my desktop, I get a different picture than the actual printer that I have. It'll give me like a weird printer, picture. And it's like, okay, that's not mine. So I have to uninstall it, remove it, and then go back and see if I can hook it up with the picture that really is mine.
Yeah. So there's two possibilities. One is there is some damaged part of the driver that is still there and is not getting out of the way and is not getting fixed. When the installer runs, it says, oh, you have HP 3660 DLL. I don't need to put a new one there. and it's not replacing the broken part. That's one possibility. It is possible, unlikely, but it's possible that your computer, it's not that your computer's too old. I know you want it to be. And I will tell you to get a new, I mean, honestly, you got 10 years out of that thing. That's a long time. You should be very happy. You got your money's worth. It would be completely appropriate to get a new computer. I really think that it's the driver, though. I have to be honest, and it could be that it's
driver in the printer.
Yeah, not in the printer, but in the computer, the software that talks to the printer. And, and I honestly think that it is possible that HP doesn't have an up-to-date driver for your version of Windows 10, and you're going to have to root around in the HP support site to see if that's the case. So that is a possibility because you updated Windows 10. Was it a big update when you did the update, or was it just one of the regular?
I don't recall.
Yeah.
I don't. I didn't.
It's possible that it does. Microsoft tries to make this not happen, but sometimes it does, where the update makes your driver incompatible. Yeah. And HP, because it's a 5-year-old printer, says, never mind. So that is possible. But
okay, because I think at one of the times I did it, that I did get to HP, and it was only one time. It did say, I did get a message similar to saying, we don't support this anymore. And so then I thought, well, maybe.
It might be. It might be if you've really, and this is hard to do, completely eliminated every trace of that driver. Just completely get rid of it and then run the installer. And it sounds like the installer is a little funky because it's not showing you the image of the printer that you have. But if you can get it to install and it's still not working, it may be incompatible. Now, what's the answer? Not a new computer. Sorry, a new printer.
Yeah, I honestly think it might be new printer time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I've gone into the uninstalled and installed programs list, and some of the HP items in there I can't delete.
Yeah, those are probably the items that are screwing you up. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hold on a sec here. So I'm looking. HP NV 5660 driver is unavailable. This is on the HP support site. Somebody in the chat room posted here. And it says the full solution software includes everything you need to do. So the HP, it's funny, the HP response. Delete your printer, reinstall all HP software for it, then run this program to fully install your printer again. That's their response. But I says 22 people had the same question. Yeah. I was able to do wireless print via my 5660 until yesterday. By the way, in this case, yesterday was January 8th, 2018.
Yeah. Oh wow.
4 years ago. But today it always shows the message, driver is unavailable in the printers list. Is that what you're seeing?
Yes.
Okay. But this is a 4-year-old problem. And so HP's response is to do a complete uninstall of the printer software.
And there's a great guide here with 3 steps of how to truly, fully, completely remove everything, including using Windows key plus R to run a command to help remove everything. So it could be that there's a little bit more that was buried in there that you weren't able to remove. So we'll include a link, of course, to this in the show notes.
Yeah, so this is from HP.com. It is a forum thread, and it has a bunch of solutions because a lot of people had this problem. Apparently, it's not new even. And maybe if we can get every trace of that old printer software out of there and then have a fresh install, that sounds to me like what you need to do. It could. Okay,
I'll look on there and I'll.
We'll put this techguylabs.com.
Okay, that sounds great. But Leo, I have to tell you, I think I'm also going to get a new computer and move on to an Apple.
Well, honestly, if I were you, wait till Tuesday. Because Apple's going to have a big event, and I think those new Mac Minis are going to be very nice. I think they're going to announce those, and I'm going to buy 2 if they do. One for me and one for my wife. Seriously, his and hers.
And maybe a third one for
and one for Micah. Apparently, Micah gets one
silicon
too.
Machine.
Oh, you don't have one?
I don't have one.
Okay. And John's going to get one. How many do I have to buy? I'll just buy a dozen of them. That should be enough.
Add Elsa to the list.
I'll add you to the list.
Yeah, really.
Elsa.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you
Dick
so
wants
much.
one too. Okay.
And it was It was fabulous. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you, Elsa. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, you want one too, huh? All right. Hi, Dickie D.
Hey, Leo. How you doing?
I'm good. Get your microphone over there. You need a microphone.
I am.
It's just a thing we radio people talk. We like to have microphones. So yeah, you don't have an M1 of any kind?
I've been waiting for the Mini.
Yeah, me too.
I've been really
Okay, that's 3. John, how many do you need? I'm going to have to ask the boss. If we're up to me...
Don't get me one.
Oh, thank you.
Right. But Atari has not upgraded my 800. So
you need a new 800, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Sigh.
Oh, I sent you a link to the Betty White thing.
Oh, thank you.
In an email.
Thank you. What is this thing called email?
Last week it was, what is this thing called Facebook? This time it's, what is this thing called email?
Oh, look at
that's
that.
so gorgeous.
Oh.
That's even more gorgeous than I thought it was.
Oh,
wow.
Oh.
That first one, though.
How they do the back spiral and the front.
It looks like a guitar pick.
I think it's not really I think this is something. All right.
Maybe that's 2 different shirts.
Kim, I'm going to send you this, Kim.
Send it to me, and then I'll send it to him. And
then he can...
I don't know if he can do it, but he says he's got a friend that's more advanced than he is.
I don't know if that's even possible. Here we go. Yeah. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. Parting the curtain. The disco ball is spinning. The lighted floor is blinking. He's dancing out in his red satin shirt. It's Dick Debartolo. Disco Dick. Hello, Dickie D.
Leah, how are you, pal?
Oh, man, you're looking sharp today. I am well. How are you?
I am good, and you will be happy to know.
Yes.
1 or 2 years ago, you were complaining, what, you guys are up to show 1800 and something? I'll never catch up.
Well,
today... You are on 1873, and Giz Wiz 1873 uploaded at noon.
We are meeting in the middle. We are matched. I've done 1,873 Tech Guy shows. You've done 1,873 Dick Debartolo Giz Wiz shows. Tomorrow you're going to have 1874.
No, you will.
I will. I'm going to beat you.
You will be passing me. Leaving me in the dust.
Oh, because I do 2 a week and you only do 1 a week.
Yeah, we'll never catch up again.
Wow.
Anyway.
It's like Micah's age and my age. He'll never catch up.
It's weird how that works.
Never catch up.
That's where lying comes in.
So Dick Debartolo is, as probably most of you know, that name might ring a bell. He is Mad Magazine's maddest writer. For 5 decades, he's been every issue of Mad Magazine ever published. He's also a bit of a gizmo wizard, a gizmo hound. We call him the Giz Wiz because Gizho doesn't really make any sense. And he joins us every week to share a gizmo or a gadget or something fun. What do you got for us this week?
Yeah, well, you don't need this because you have Jamma B and you have Burke. But if you have cables everywhere,
no, I have
messed up. Oh, yeah. On my website, I put a couple pictures.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
Yes, exactly. Yes. All right, so on Amazon, I found stupidly named Top Bach. 126-piece cable management organizing kit.
I need this.
This kit, Leo, is great. So it has sleeves, 19-inch sleeves that zip up to put cables in. They can zip together if you have long cable runs. You get 10 self-adhesive cable clip holders. Some that hold 2 wires, some that hold 4 wires. Those I have on my desk. So like I have all the charging cables hanging down under the desk. And then when I need one, I just pull it along through one of those cable holders and plug it into whatever device I have. It has tie wraps very similar to the commercial tie wraps.
I like the Velcro ones. Does it have Velcro?
Well, their version of Velcro.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
hook and loop. Hook and loop.
Hook and loop.
Yes.
And not only do they give you like 10 hook and loop, and then you get 2 rolls of hook and loop, so you can cut them to any.
I've bought many of these separately, but to
Leo,
get them all in
if
a
you
kit.
buy them, yes, the kit is $17.
Oh, that's nice. Boy, that's there's the Hickenloopers. Yeah, that's good.
The Hicken. They live next door.
I know. I think they ran for president a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think so. I keep saying, can you guys come over and take care of my cables?
You know what I love is these rubber wedges that you glue to the desk and then you run the cables through them. I have a bunch of those all over the house.
Great.
Rubber wedgie
They're
buggy
great.
bumpers.
Rubber wedgie bubby gunkers.
That's them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're peel and stick, so you just peel those.
Oh, look, John's bringing us. Look, John apparently he uses this so much. He buys them in these are giant cable reels. And is this the flex tubing that you put the cable into, like you have? Dick, this is 100 feet, and this is 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Wow. Do we actually use these, or you just bought them for show? No, okay. we wrap everything.
Wouldn't that be funny that you lift one of those floorboards and it's just
a mess.
Nightmare wire.
It's a mess. But it's the way.
Don't touch it.
Yesterday, I entirely rewired my wife's office desktop setup. Unfortunately, it didn't work. And so now I have to put it back the way it was. And I'm thinking, I need some Hickenloopers because I've got to tidy this up so that if I have to ever do it again, it'll be a little easier because there's wires everywhere and they're all tangled together. I even found, she's got 2, not 1, but 2 big power strips. I found 3 different plugs that go nowhere. Stuff that's plugged in, but there's nothing on the other end. Like somebody just took the device but left the plug. It's like too much trouble to unplug it. So I think everybody needs this.
Yes, when you have the cords that go into a little clip that plugs into the back of something,
right?
It's just easy to unplug it, put the new gadget in, and just
leave it. Just let it go.
Figure someday I'll get a cord management kit.
This is wild. Look at all this stuff.
Wow,
that's great.
$17 for all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started buying it individually, and fortunately, I was on checkout. Amazon said you might also be interested in,
and you said, "Yes, I am."
So, are you engulfed in a project to rewire the Disneyland?
Well, now that I've spoken about it, no, someday.
Talking about it is as good as doing it. I find.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah,
it really
that's all
is.
you need.
The
to
intention
do.
is 9/10 of doing it.
Well,
That's
and then if you really want to seal that, buy these. And now you've got that and the intention. Man, you're set.
You're set to go.
You never have to do anything.
Yeah. I have 2 sets of intention.
$17.99.
So there is a link to this. $17 is nothing. This is a nice set of all sorts of stuff. I even, I have such ambitions. I never do this, and I always think I should be doing it to label it. I got the label maker.
Label maker. Mm-hmm.
And then I watch YouTube videos late at night on wire harness things you can do, and how to do. I never do any of it. I never do any of it. So and then I'm embarrassed. I look behind my computer. You should see my desk. It's incredible. So maybe this is
that's the other option, Leo, is buy a gate. So no one can look behind you.
That's it.
That's the cheaper way.
Just, what I'm going to do? I'm going to close the door to my office, lock it, and throw away the key, and I don't have to think about it ever again. Go to gizwiz.biz. That's Dick's website, gizwiz.biz, and you can see a link to this and all the other products he's mentioned. Just click the button that says the Giz Wiz visits the tech guy. We resolved a great conundrum last week with the What the Heck Is It contest. There's a brand new contest, but Dick,
Did you guess what it was?
I had no idea. It looked like, I don't know, what is it? Stacked washers? What was
They're
it?
corn cappers. It's a way to eat corn right out of the pot without burning your hands.
Okay.
Or
did anybody get that?
One person said, "Oh, you're talking." Oh,
yeah, those when I was a kid. So it looked like what did it look like? A washers, like a stacked set of washers.
Yes. Well, the great thing was the funny answers are way better than the. Someone said it's a slinky if you have very short steps, and that's very funny.
Horn cappers. I don't know where you found those. We've got a new one. It's obviously the button, but what is it a button to? That's the question. So go to gizwiz.biz, chance to win an autographed copy of Mad Magazine from this cat right here, Dick Debartolo. Don't forget his great podcast, gizwiz.tv. Thank you, Dickie D. Congratulations on 1873.
The same to you, pal.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right. See you later.
See ya.
Thank you, Micah Sargent, for being here. Really is so much more fun when you're here. Thank you for coming in. If I can entice you back next week.
I will be here next week.
Thank you all for joining us. Thanks to Professor Laura, our musical director. Some fun tunes. I saw you canoodling with her before the show.
We're working
preparing,
some
getting some
tunes.
stuff. Thanks to Kim Schaffer, our tie-dyed phone angel. And thanks to all of you for joining us. I couldn't do it without you. Really appreciate it. We'll see you again next time. I am Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. Have a great Geek Week. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWIT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.